We're back for another episode of Top Five Live, episode 97. Uh, we were trying to do an episode when we were actually all in the same place. I'm sure y'all have seen the pictures by now of us getting to meet in person for the first time, and um, that was awesome. You know what I'm saying? The convention was great. Being able to get up and meet each other in person was great. The only thing we didn't do was be able to shoot the show. Uh,
Y'all
but
kept go. Y'all kept leaving.
yeah, it was a complicated weekend for a
It
myriad of
definitely
reasons. But
was. It
yeah,
definitely was a complicated weekend, ridiculously.
it's very complicated. I will say that I feel I was blessed to be able to come at all because y'all know little man's situation. So I was happy that I was able to come at all. That was awesome. Meant a lot to be able to get there and meet Javon and Ro in person. Um, I
Oh,
wish we
that
had
was
been able to
wait. That
do
was the first time y'all met Ro.
my first time.
I I
Oh,
met
Danny
Ro
met him.
before.
Yeah, Danny met him once before. Um, but yeah, so uh, I think it was a great show. Let me get to what our top five is. So our top five tonight is top five revenge movies, and y'all already know. Those of y'all who know me know I'm about to love this topic, and it was extremely hard for me to to whittle these down because there are a lot of selections in my book that I could have picked, and it was very hard for me to get this down to a five, and then it was very hard for me to rank that five. And I think I'm just stuck on my five right now where I got them ranked, and I'm just gonna talk it out later, and we'll go from there. Um, also, we want to get into. Um, I wanted to give a quick review of The Blackening that came out this past weekend. Javon and Danny still haven't had a chance to go see it yet. We get a little bit into the comic convention and how that went, and I think our other major topic was is superhero movie fatigue a thing? Um, I put a poll up on Facebook. Let me pull that up real quick while I'm setting it up, and the consensus is no, it's not a real thing. Um, I gave three options. One is yes, one is no, and one is complicated. There was only three of us that voted it is complicated. Danny voted yes, it is a real thing. Javon voted no, uh, and that's definitely a discussion that is worth having because I think it's another nuanced discussion that is getting put into. I think there's nuance there that's not being discussed, and I think it's similar to the
What's
conversation we were having last week about the
what's complicated
comics
about
broke.
it though? I don't get what's complicated about it though. I think that it's obvious that there is superhero movie fatigue. I'm not saying that everybody is experiencing it because I'm not. I'm not tired of superhero movies. And even when, I mean, if this is what y'all want to talk about first, y'all want to talk about this first?
I mean,
Yeah,
you
go
already
ahead.
started.
If there,
Yeah, go ahead.
if I think the miscommunication that we were having earlier is that I think Javon was attributing, or people were attributing this Flash movie flopping to superhero fatigue. And I don't think that's the reason that it's flopping. And I think that it was just marketed poorly and people didn't want to see it. I mean, I really didn't care about seeing it. I didn't go see it until Monday. Go see it until Monday. Usually, I go see superhero movies on the Thursday that they premiere. Spider Verse I saw on Thursday night and Friday and Saturday. This one I didn't go see it until Monday, and I probably wouldn't have seen it then if I wasn't off of work. Like I literally did not care about this movie at all. So I can't imagine the general audience would have cared about it. I do think that superhero fatigue is a real thing though, because I know that and Javon brought this up earlier. I have sci-fi TV show fatigue. I There are so many good sci-fi um, TV shows out there and I just haven't watched them because I'm tired of them and I don't have time to watch them all. I don't have time to dedicate them. They're my favorite. Star Trek is one of my favorite franchises. I have not seen Picard season 2. I have not seen Brave New Worlds. I have not seen the last season of Discovery, just because I needed a break from it. And I was like, I'll watch it when I get time to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that there are people who are tired, who are overwhelmed by the amount of superhero content that we have and are just not making the effort to see them. So I would call that superhero fatigue for sure.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I guess I'm more stuck on the semantics of the word fatigue. Like I think a lot of people are attributing different things to there being like you said, like Flash and box office numbers and everything. I don't think fatigue really exists. I just think we don't like bad movies, right?
Well, you don't think fatigue exists, or specifically
No.
superhero movie
Regarding
fatigue?
Kenji.
superhero fatigue, I don't think it's real, because it's like every time like something great drops, then it's, oh man, superhero movies are back, and then
Yeah,
every
we're gonna
time
discuss that.
something bad drops, then it's like, oh man, we have superhero fatigue, and it's like, which is it, right? Like when Across the Spider-Verse dropped, nobody was talking about superhero fatigue. Not name one person was talking about superhero fatigue. When Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness came out, oh, Kevin said he got sold books. Nobody was talking, every time there's a hit movie, then nobody's talking about the fatigue. When it's a flop, then they're like, oh, it's because of fatigue. And the truth is, it's not really fatigue. It's the Flash movie flopped, A, because the star is a psycho, and B, because it's a Flash movie that ain't really about the Flash. It marketed, you care more about there being Batman and Supergirl and all that other stuff. It was marketed very poorly. What? Fatigue doesn't show up along with a bad movie. Now people don't want to see a good movie, right? And there haven't been many good superhero movies that people have been like, I ain't seen it because I'm tired. Like I'm saying, obviously there's certain people like that, but for the most part, I feel like
I disagree with that. I disagree with both what you and Kenji just said. I think that the fatigue of that is the fatigue. If I'm a fan of superheroes, period, right? And I'm saying I'm gonna skip this one because there's too much superhero content coming out, and I want to be selective about what I go see. Then that's fatigue.
That's not fatigue. That's being selective. Fatigue means I'm tired of it.
If I'm saying I'm selective because of fatigue, right? Or my wallet is tired, right?
Again, that's not fatigue though. That's like I can't afford to do something. That's like saying like, I'm fatigued from buying Maybachs. Man, I ain't got the money to buy Maybachs. Like if you can't afford to do something, you can't afford to do something. That's not superhero fatigue. It's like, I think when we everybody wants to attribute different. Hold on, Danny, I let you talk, man. I think everybody wants to attribute a movie flopping to fatigue as opposed to maybe this one wasn't good. Damn, he done left. Maybe that this one wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like, and you got to number one, there was, especially with the Flash. The Flash is an interesting. So hold on. So if you get tired of seeing DV because of it, yeah, right. Morgan is a prime example of that. Morgan just don't go to DC movies, not for fatigue, but because he watched a few before and they sucked. So he's like, I don't trust y'all. Am I wrong in that assessment?
I didn't want to interrupt you, so
I'm asking a question. Am I wrong in that assessment?
I mean, I am definitely far more hesitant to give DC a chance than I am Marvel.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not really fatigue. That's like, okay, I'm just going to be selective in what I watch because we don't have to watch them all. Like this idea that we have to watch every single Marvel movie that comes out. That was born out of the pre-COVID, hold on. Rod says there were times when I was fatigued with vampire content and zombie content.
I agree with this, Rod.
To the point where no matter what came on, I wasn't checking for, and that's fine. But I think what people are talking about for superhero fatigue now isn't fatigue. It's I didn't like these movies weren't good, so I'm tired of superhero movies. Like every time I ask people what their definition of fatigue is, they always point out the bad movies. But then I bring up the good movies and they're like, oh no, I like that. Oh, that was good. Oh no, I like that. So help me out here. Which is it? Is it you didn't like the bad movies and you like the good movies, or are you just tired of superhero movies overall? Because nobody's making you go to these movies.
So
Kenji, Morgan, do you want to go or do you want?
Let me put up what Ty said.
Oh, what happened? Danny.
All right. So I'm trying to keep up with the comments, but I'm gonna catch up in a second. I'm gonna catch up.
Hold on, Danny. You got some sound issues, man.
I'm gonna catch up with you in a second, Ty. I'm gonna put your thing up and then I'm gonna come back to it. All right. So for me, like I said on the poll, I think it's because Danny's watching.
I think it's Danny, man. You might want to come in and come back out.
Oh, y'all can't hear me no more?
Now we can hear you, but there's an echo.
All right. So what's good, Ryan? What's up, Kenji? What's good, Daniel? What's up, Paige? I don't know what the Danny, mute your mic. Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. So I on my answer on the poll, I said it's nuanced. I said it's complicated, and that's because it's nuanced. I feel the same about this issue as I do the conversation about Western comics versus mangas and anime. I think it's partly generational. I think part of the reason for this thing that's happening is partly generational. I think it's partially bad movies. I think it's partially just the world changing. And it definitely has to do with oversaturation. So right now we're really in a renaissance of entertainment, whether it be movies, whether it be TV, whether it be books, whether it be like all of these things that are storytelling devices. We have an oversaturated market. Podcasts, radio shows, TV show. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's not a bad thing. It's a great thing, especially for those of us who love storytelling and do storytelling. I agree with Danny that it is if you're starting to make decisions to say, I'm not going to see this film because it's not that I don't think it might be good, but I ain't really trying to give it a chance. But if I don't really want to go see it, I'm off that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said for a long time with the MCU, the advantage that the MCU has. What's good, Will? What's up? What's good, Williams? The advantage that the MCU has is that they have a connected universe. So they hooked me a long time ago, all the way back when we started giving preludes to Thanos and that saga coming. They hooked us for 10 years with those after credit scenes, with all of those things. They created a formula that could not miss. So even if you didn't want to see the next Marvel film, you felt like you had to, just because you wanted to see what the in-between story was going to be, so you know what you could look forward to. The same thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the same thing with the Marvel series that came on Disney Plus. Nobody would have Disney Plus right now if it was not for the MCU. Like, you might have got it to watch Mandalorian, and you watch it real quick, and then you cancel your joint. You know what I'm saying? You might get it. You might get it to watch Hamilton, and then you watch Hamilton for a while, and then you cancel it. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But nobody would have a reason to stay on Disney Plus if it wasn't for those shows coming to Disney Plus that are directly connected to the MCU. If they had released those shows and said it's not connected to the MCU, people wouldn't have signed up for Disney Plus. I don't believe, not in the numbers that they did. So that's an advantage that the MCU has over the DCEU until enter James Gunn. Now he's getting ready to change that. This Flash movie, I think he said, was supposed to be the beginning of that. I think this counts as canon in the DCEU, which I wouldn't have done that. But that, you know, he's in a far more advanced position than I am. But I say that to say this. I do think that there's fatigue based on oversaturation. Yeah, all of us don't like bad movies, but the reason I think that that's somewhat, I understand where it's coming from, but I think it's somewhat bogus, is because you can't know whether the movie is bad or good unless you go see it. So otherwise you're going off of a trailer and you're going by reviews. Those are the only two things you have to go by. So if you say people don't want to see bad movies, you don't know whether the movie's bad until you go see it. So it's not a bad movie thing. If it was a bad movie thing, then okay, then you're going by reviews. You know what I'm saying? That you have to be going by reviews, or that trailer just didn't intrigue me, which that's the whole reason that you come out with trailers. So either people suck at editing, you know what I'm saying, because they're not catching you in the trailer to make you want to go see the movie, or you're relying on reviews of people that saying the movie isn't good. But it has to be a combination of all of those things, which is why I said it's complicated. It's not as easy as yes, there's movie fatigue, or no, there's movie fatigue. I think if I had to pick between yes and no, I would say yes, because again, I like who was it that gave the example? Rod gave the example earlier about too many vampire movies being out, and he had just got to a point where he's like, I'm off that. Me, it wasn't vampire movies, it was street dramas. So like BMF is still on, Power, Snowfall. Snowfall was the last one that I was willing to watch over and over again. All the rest of them joints, I don't care what comes out. I don't want to see it. Anything that's connected to the Power universe, I could care less. I'm not watching it. I don't care how good it is. I don't care what's going on. The only thing that could even make me think about coming back is if they bring Ghost back. And if they bring Ghost back, then maybe, you know what I'm saying, I'll jump back in. But I don't want to see BMF. I don't care about that. I don't care about the story. I don't want to know nothing about it. Snowfall was a great show, and I was already in it. So since I was already in it, I'm like, I'm gonna watch it, but I don't want to see anything else that had to do with that genre. So
yeah, but you keep making, you keep saying, okay, Danny, go ahead. Danny had his hand up.
Go ahead, Danny.
What? Can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me a little better now?
Yeah.
What Morgan just said is it for me. I think for general audiences now, like I said, I don't have superhero fatigue, so I'm going to watch these movies at the earliest convenience for me, right? But general audiences, like my wife, you know, my mom, you know, people who haven't grown up with these characters, they are at that point where they're like, superhero movie, I'm off that. I don't need to see that. You know what I'm saying? They are at that point. I'm telling you from my wife is not a superhero person.
I agree with you.
So I disagree. I feel like it's based on the. Is he talking?
Yeah, but the signal's going in and out.
I feel like
Danny, just reconnect when you get still, because the signal's going in and out.
So this is how I feel about this. I always look at it this way. People always say, well, it's the numbers bear out, yada yada yada, or the average audience. It's not really true. People show up for what they want to watch. All right. So like Across the Spider-Verse, making money, people showed up for it because they liked the first one, right?
It most of the time, the first one did it,
huh?
It didn't do the numbers of the first one, did it?
I mean, it's not done yet. I mean, it's not done yet.
Yeah, but I mean, in the first one, like the first one's numbers were a good amount better than the second one's numbers in the same time
after 2 weeks.
In the same time frame, if
I would check that. Somebody check that out.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's doing that much differently. So Mason, get on the show so I can tell you you're wrong. So here's the deal. Again, So look at it this way. When you look at something like Thor, right?
I agree with this, Mason.
Thor had decent numbers. Well, like again, we keep thinking about, if you want the link, Mason, we'll send it to you. We keep looking back at and thinking about these movies like pre-Endgame, like they were all doing $1 billion. They all weren't doing $1 billion, and they all weren't universally lauded either.
I don't think so, man.
Thor: The Dark World did okay, wasn't liked well. Like we all agree on that.
Yeah, it was
Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 got a lot of criticism. Now they did numbers, but that's because it's Robert Downey Jr. But they still did numbers.
Yep.
Ant-Man didn't do $1 billion, and people all felt like, And Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't do like $1 billion, I believe.
It should have.
And people were like, A lot of these movies, I'm telling you, people forget how they felt about these movies at the time and them they coming out. Now everybody's like, man, back in the day, you're talking about a handful of the MCU movies that were really, really, really freaking good. Really freaking good.
I don't
think just think about all of them pre-Endgame.
Yeah, but I don't think there was ever an expectation that every Marvel movie is going to blow the box office.
That is not true, dude. We still have the expectation now.
I do not.
No, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about generally.
I know,
people
but
feel like if a Marvel movie doesn't do $1 billion, it's a failure. I literally was in an argument. I was literally in an argument right now this morning about that. That's people's perception, because they remember a few of the movies in the first three phases that did $1 billion, that did really, really well.
There's only been like 3 Marvel movies that did $1 billion.
No, I mean Iron Man did $1 billion, I believe.
Over what time period?
$1 billion is $1 billion.
See, that's why I said that this is complicated, because to me that's another moving scale. Like when I'm talking about box office numbers, to me the best way for you to measure box office numbers is within 2 weeks. If you're going past 2 weeks, I mean it's not irrelevant, but it's a lot less. Like we know how well that film was received or not received based on the first 2 weeks, especially the first weekend.
Ryan said 7 MCU films have done $1 billion. So over what time period? It doesn't matter though. Morgan, it doesn't matter
to me.
You're arbitrary 2 weeks. That's arbitrary, dude.
You don't measure a movie's box office success. Like you don't say a movie blew things out of the water if it took them 2 months to get to $1 billion.
Yeah, you do.
I have never done that. So
you might, but the general consensus is if your movie does $1 billion, it doesn't matter if it was in 2 weeks or 3 months. $1 billion is $1 billion.
That's crazy to me. Okay, but maybe that's because, again, like I said, it's a perspective thing. For me, for me to know that a movie did well at the box office, I'm looking at the first 2 weeks, but especially the opening weekend. So from Thursday to Sunday is the biggest barometer for how well that movie did, because there's going to be a huge drop off over the first weekend to the second weekend. We talked about this last week when we were talking about Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse did, what was it, 155 million in the opening weekend? And I said that number is going to drop a lot in the second weekend. And y'all were like, I don't know about that. And I said, yes, it will. There are no movies that do the same numbers 2 weeks in a row. Very rare.
Ryan's making a good point. It took 6 months for Avatar to make $1 billion.
The first Avatar?
The first one.
The second one reached $1 billion in under a month.
Again, but you have to understand that it doesn't. That's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter when the $1 billion comes. If the $1 billion is $1 billion, if Lumberjacks goes out there and makes $1 billion in 6 months, you can say my movie is $1 billion movie because it's $1 billion movie.
Yeah, but by and large,
it's a success.
My point is, by and large, when you're measuring a movie's success, especially at the box office, the first thing that you're looking at is maybe people in the industry are looking at 6 months, a year, 10 years. Maybe people in the industry are looking at that. But usually when you're looking for box office numbers, they show you the first weekend and up to the second weekend. They don't, because again, there's a huge drop off every week that movie's out in theaters. There's a huge drop off on numbers.
I understand that. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if by the end of the run in the theaters, your movie makes $1 billion. That's $1 billion movie, and it's a success.
Okay. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay. Let's go with the fact that if your movie makes $1 billion, then you're a success. I have never looked and said every Marvel movie should make $1 billion.
No, but what I'm saying, I'm not saying you though. Again,
I don't think most people are.
There are a lot of people who go, well, you know, this movie made, you know, this Marvel movie made X amount of money, or this movie made $1 billion. Or they'll be like Captain Marvel.
What's good,
Captain Marvel? I believe Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Captain Marvel made $1 billion, and people are like, well, Black Widow didn't make $1 billion, so it's not a success.
I agree with that, Daniel. Yes.
If your movie grosses more than it costs,
you want to
absolutely.
You want a profit.
But exactly.
That's
but
the ultimate.
The problem is people are looking at the most recent movies from the last two phases of Marvel movies that have made more than what it costs to make, and they're saying they're not successes because they didn't make $1 billion.
Yes,
but they didn't do as well as the ones from the first phases, without acknowledging the ones in the first phases took place in an entirely different era of cinema.
I don't know. That's part of my point. Part of my point is that we're in a different time period altogether to gauge all movies. But like, it doesn't matter what.
I agree.
It doesn't matter what movie it is. Post-COVID is not the same as pre-COVID. That is, I don't care what metric you're looking at. That's been shown across the board. Like, you don't. What's good, Mason?
Same as pre-COVID. I don't care what metric you're looking at.
You got us playing in the background, bro.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Somebody got us playing in the background. Mason, you got us playing in the background?
Somebody got it on in the background.
Somebody got to get rid of a tab.
But yeah, so I think so. Post-COVID and pre-COVID are not the same numbers for any movie. Part of that is because, and I said, we talked about this on the show. I said during the time period that COVID happened, all businesses, but especially entertainment, was going to have to get themselves to a place where your business is going to get made or broken by COVID, whether you adjust to it or whether you don't. The movie industry was already in a huge hole, especially at theaters before COVID hit. COVID destroyed it, and they're still in a hole that they're not able to dig out of. They're not going to dig out of that hole, to be honest with you, which hurts me because I love going to the movies to watch films. But that hole was huge. It's a substantial hole, and I don't know how they're going to make that up. You know what I'm saying? And again, post-COVID, that we have too many ways to consume storytelling. So I don't know that those numbers will ever get back to what they used to be, but all of these are conversations that are a part of the big question, which is, does superhero fatigue exist? And I think in this conversation, we're proving that it does exist. Anything that you oversaturate, anything that you oversaturate, people are going to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's just in general, period. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, you know, you could be into politics. And when the presidential race first starts, you'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to see these debates. After a while, when they keep running those ads, you're like, yo, please.
Can I ask a question? Let me ask this question. What is your, and this for everybody, and I'm gonna sit back after I ask the question, I'm gonna sit back. What is your metric that to you that determines that superhero fatigue exists? What's your metric outside of yourself?
Go ahead, Danny.
Danny.
Well, here, I'll go real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I just think overall, I'm just not feeling as hyped as I was, before Endgame. Okay, so leading up to Infinity War and Endgame, I was pumped. I was ready to go see every single movie because I felt like it was all leading up to something big. Mm-hmm. I don't feel that way now. After Iron Man, spoiler alert, after Iron Man died, after we lost Captain America, mm-hmm. and after Thor got stupid, I'm just not interested in the characters that we're seeing right now.
Mhm.
I mean, like for example, like what's the Avenger lineup now? Is it
Really
like
good job.
Falcon? I don't care. Is it Shang-Chi? That was okay. It was an okay movie. She-Hulk was bad. Let's be real about that. It's just, there's just not like a whole lot to get excited about because I don't feel like it's really, leading up to anything. And I also don't think the multiverse was a smart decision to go into right after Infinity War because the multiverse is a very complex story. And like for example, in Ant-Man, again, spoiler alert, they kill Kang. So you've already killed this dude twice. So I don't really feel like he's really a threat because you keep killing the guy. So like what? So like the next movie, he's gonna come back again. We're gonna kill him again. He doesn't make a very compelling villain. I mean, I'm just not hyped for it. I just don't care, honestly. Whereas with like the original movies, you had Iron Man, which was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You had Captain America, which was actually good, and I'm not even a Captain America fan. They made me a fan of Captain America for that movie. That was okay. Thor was okay. And then Iron Man 2 was bad, but then Avengers was great. So you just had like these tentpole movies that aren't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man's pretty good too, but again, I just don't see that push for me to go to the theater to see every single movie anymore. And I'm just not really into what they're putting out. Like I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet because I just really don't care. I guess that's the end of the series. Okay, but I think looking back, I think I was really only watching those movies because I felt like if I missed a movie, I'm missing a part of the story.
Yep.
And I think now that's not there anymore. Because it's like, okay, if I miss a movie, it doesn't matter because it's all multiverse anyway. If anyone dies, they'll just bring in like the multiverse version of that character later on.
Yep.
Because they killed Kang in Ant-Man 3. Spoiler alert, they killed him. So I guess it's coming back again in the next movie. So again, that's what I said. There's no stakes involved. There's just no stakes.
I think there are stakes involved. We're just not interested in them.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I agree with you 100% because that's what I was saying, and I'm gonna let Danny go. I agree with you 100%. I don't think that they'll reach the height of interest that they had with the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet series. I don't think it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We know Kang is the big bad for the phases that they're building up to. I don't think we'll see those type of numbers. Because I agree with you 100%. Y'all know how I feel about antagonists and stories only being as good as your antagonist. I think Kang is a great antagonist. But given the situation with Jonathan Majors, whether they're going to recast him or not, that's one part. Two, even if they don't recast him and he's still just as great of a Kang, I agree with you, Mason. Like, okay, Ant-Man took
by himself.
Out. You know what I'm saying? Like Ant-Man took
He didn't do it by himself. Y'all keep saying that. Y'all keep lying.
Ant-Man
did not beat Kang by himself. Y'all y'all not watching the movie. I feel like
I'm here.
A different movie.
No, see, you're saying
you're
saying this as
I'm here to battle
of the comics.
It's not about a fan. I'm talking about what happened in the movie.
In the movie, they were by themselves. Ant-Man beat up Kang by himself.
So we gonna ignore the army of ants that literally trampled the army of ants. Hold on. We gonna Ant-Man hand to hand. We gonna ignore the army of ants that trampled them. We in spoiler territory. We gonna ignore the fact that we gonna argue. We gonna ignore the fact that boy got stomped Ant-Man into the ground. He was about to kill him.
You want casual audiences to believe that Kang is going to take over the entire universe, and he got beat by an army of ants?
Again,
giant ants at that.
Dude, it was literally okay. Ryan, help me out here because I feel like I watched. Ryan, I feel like I watched a different movie.
Real quick before Ryan jumps in, compare that to Thanos versus Cap, Iron Man, and Thor at the end of Endgame.
Okay, Thanos comes on scene and beats Hulk up in seconds.
So you're talking about literally Thanos did stuff. No, okay. So here's my deal. If Kang would have came in and just did exactly the same thing that Thanos did,
and not die.
People would be complaining about the fact that he copied Thanos and they just doing Thanos all over again. Now they're trying something different because you have to, again, this is about paying attention to the story. The point in the story is that Kang was basically the runt of the litter and he got cast out because he wasn't strong enough. The other Kangs, and by the way, if you watch Loki, they said there's a scarier Kang out there. That was the whole point of the multiverse. That's the whole point of the multiverse of old boy keeping a multiverse at bay. Remember, the last thing he said when he died is he's coming and he's worse than me. That's basically the last thing. That one was literally the runt. He got kicked out of the council or whatever it is they showed at the end.
But
so there is a real big bad Kang out there.
Okay, but here's the problem though. So. There's an old storytelling trope called "show me, don't tell me." All right. When they did Thanos, both. They showed us how powerful Thanos was. Thanos, we first see Thanos in Infinity War. Thor is already beaten. He's grabbing Thor by his freaking head and dragging him around. I'm like, okay, this guy's a badass. And then Hulk rose up. I'm like, okay, Hulk's gonna throw it down. He beats Hulk up in seconds. Like, okay, this guy's a badass. I'm scared of this dude. Okay. With Kang, it's a bunch of, it's just a bunch of exposition. It's like
Loki didn't show up beating up people, but we were cool with Loki.
Nobody was scared of Loki.
But he was still a credible villain, and he was still credible enough that you went along with it in Avengers.
Loki,
guys, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead, Ryan. I'm gonna be honest. Ant-Man is trash. Okay, third one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank
so
you.
let's not even continue to talk about
Ant-Man. Honestly, I liked the movie. I liked it for what it was.
Thank you, sir.
I liked it for what it was.
I'm not saying it's entertaining for what it is, but as an overall arc to move the MCU forward, it's trash.
I wasn't, but I didn't look at it as that. I looked at it as an introduction.
It's the same way how I feel about Doctor Strange in the multiverse.
Hey man, I don't want to have to. I can't feel the same way about that one.
For me, the MCU is just what it is. The MCU, it'll find its way. It's like for me, this is the first phase of whatever the hell they're trying to do. In the second phase, they'll find their way. Okay?
Why we try to act? I swear, the first three. Look, you just talked about the first. Jay. You just talked about the first the way you felt, the anticipation to each movie. But we can't act like in the first phases there weren't some bad.
No, we're not. We're beyond. No,
I'm talking to
me. I think that's what people forget. Phase 4 is all about grief right now. We're moving into phase 5. It's going to be something that's going to culminate into something big. So I'm not really concerned about the MCU.
I remember how people was talking about Thor 2, Thor: The Dark World. I remember how people were talking about Iron Man 2 and 3.
I love Thor 2.
There are people who were trashing Avengers Age of Ultron. Now that people talk about how they love it.
There it is.
I love Age of Ultron.
Now they talk about how they love it.
Ultron was a problem. There's
nobody talking about how they love it though.
Ultron's not a problem.
No. The point I'm making is at the time, people were trashing. People were trashing it. I remember this vividly.
Trashing the movie or Ultron?
The movie.
The movie.
I remember that too.
And now, oh man, Age of Ultron. I remember. I see it on Twitter all the time. I'll be like, really? Oh,
nobody's gonna go back and say that Ant-Man Quantumania was good. Nobody's gonna do that.
I just said I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me,
I remember people going, "Well, Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man 2 were really, really good." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Y'all thought it was really good? Oh, okay, cool."
Morgan's right. Like we live in a post-world COVID era. Like people are still not going to the movies like they were post-COVID. It's not gonna happen. So we're not going to see huge immaculate numbers for big post-tentpole movies like The Flash.
Nope.
We're not going to see that shit. So we got to understand that this stuff does not remotely matter anymore.
On top of that, they're coming to DC. They're coming to Disney Plus so fast.
Absolutely not, Emmanuel.
Yeah. Movies are only in theaters for less than 3 months.
Yeah.
Depending on how
it seemed like not even a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Shazam went to streaming less than 14 days.
They should have put Shazam,
because it didn't make enough money.
They should have put
so
Shazam
it's
straight
going to be the second thing. Like we'll see Flash probably on streaming in
Tomorrow.
the next month. So like, I'm not really concerned
I'm fine with that.
about movies like
I'm
that.
fine with
People are going to show up to movies that they're invested in, and that's
Thank
the
you.
whole point of the litter.
Yes.
Guardians of Galaxy 3 made a shit ton of money.
Yes, it
Yep.
did.
Spider-Man made double the money the opening of the first film that came out,
Thank you, sir.
and it's still making money. I'm not
And it's going
concerned
to.
about superhero fatigue. People pick and choose what they want to
That
see.
is my
The
point.
reason why Flash failed is because all the controversy surrounding that film.
But
And-
even
and
even not
shit
just even not
anybody
just the
says,
Flash though.
It's the controversy.
It's
And
not
it's
even just the
DCU.
Flash though. It's
it's
everything.
DCU.
You pick the ones
Hmm.
you want to see. People are more picky now
Exactly.
because that
But
joint
that's
could be on. I remember I saw that the M. Night Shyamalan movie. What's the one that just came out?
Old.
No. What Batista? About the end of the
Oh,
world.
I didn't see that.
Cabin.
Anyway,
That's that.
I went to the
Cabin in
movies.
Woods or something?
I went,
Something like that.
yeah.
With
Cabin
little
in the
gay
Woods.
couple in the wood cabin,
Something.
and they come and
But I saw that
Yeah.
joint in theaters on opening weekend, and it was I was able to watch it at home like 3 weeks later. That's where we are now.
Yeah,
So-
but
The expectation that you can't say that, well, people are not going to the movies like they used to, like people aren't showing up in theaters for these movies. And the truth is, before Endgame, dude, you had to go see Endgame in theaters. A, because you didn't know when it was going to make it to digital. B, because it was all spoilers. And again, I wish people would stop comparing every damn movie to Endgame.
Yeah,
Every
that has
movie
to
ain't
stop.
Endgame. Not you. Not when I'm talking. I'm not
I
talking
know.
specifically.
I'm saying in the conversations I've seen online, I don't see people doing that. I just see people saying
I seen it
people
today.
are tired. People are tired of superhero movies because there
Well,
are a lot of them.
so-
And
Nah,
Well,
you
nah.
well, the other
It'll
problem
never get
also on
tired.
top of it, though, guys, is that there's really nothing coming up that really pumps you up on that level. Also,
I
like for example,
agreed.
I mean,
I agree
I
more.
saw for Marvels.
And
I
more.
wasn't
Y'all
that-
watch the
wasn't that
Marvels do
excited
half
for
a bill.
Marvels, and
Y'all
I'm not
watch.
really all that hyped up for the next Captain America movie because
I personally of the upcoming MCU.
Hey man, y'all black
movie,
folk better come out for the Captain America.
I mean, we'll
movie.
see, but I mean,
All them people was
I'm
talking
just-
about how much they wanted a black Captain
Yeah,
America.
I know.
You got him. Y'all better come out for him.
I don't know who was saying.
Oh,
that.
I'll be in the seats. I just think for me, like the last film I saw in the theater was John Wick.
Yeah.
Like
There you go,
4.
Ryan.
I don't need
Smart.
I don't need to see films all like that. Like I'm not seeing I'm gonna wait until it comes on Disney Plus. Like the problem what we have right now is streaming
Danny's right on that one.
is becoming an issue. It's just becoming a problem.
It's been there.
and it's killing theaters in a way. It's killing
It's
theaters.
the issue with theaters was there before streaming blew to the level that
100%.
blew to the level that it did.
Mhm.
Well,
That's
probably-
not going
it's
to
too
change.
expensive.
But
Nah,
people-
because I wouldn't say that. The reason why, because it wasn't as accelerated. Because streaming post COVID was almost at the same caliber as like the releases for DVDs. Like
yeah, but
you
theaters were already in
you
trouble.
released the DVD like a week after the streaming it got on streaming. I remember the commercials. The commercials would be like coming to streaming on 9/26, coming on physical
It's gonna be a flop,
9/28.
y'all. I'm just letting y'all know that.
Right.
Yeah,
And not to mention, streaming
Wait,
is starting to put more money into their movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're starting to put a lot of money
yeah,
into their movies now because they realize they're building franchises
yeah,
at this point.
and it's working.
Extraction, like the new movies that are coming out, that
That's
new
a
Gal
comic book
Gadot
movie.
movies is supposed to be a franchise. Like they're starting to put money into their films.
But
So
concerning theaters, the theaters were already in trouble before streaming went ahead and did them
Mhm.
in. Right? They were already struggling.
They also raised their prices too.
Yes,
prices
exactly.
gone up.
They raised the prices not just for movies.
Oh,
They're trying to
Oh.
recoup the money that they're losing through not just the concessions, but through the ticket prices. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
That's
and
true.
now you have IMAX, now you have 4D. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And like we got a 4D theater in Cary, here in North Carolina, and they're talking about that one's getting ready to be gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I'm not
bro,
surprised.
why?
Can't afford to
As much
go.
as I love going to the theater, but also I feel like when I was reading the article, I read more than one article on the theater industry being in trouble before COVID hit. and it was in not just a little bit of trouble, billions and billions of dollars of trouble before COVID hit. The superhero thing, again, like
superheroes
I said,
were saving the theaters. By the way,
yeah,
straight up
superheroes. Yeah,
no, but it's still.
I'm just keeping it a buck.
But they
even after COVID,
but they
superheroes
cannot do it alone. The reason that we're in the spot that we're in right now is, like Mason said, the MCU is not. There is nothing in their quiver right now that's about to have people like, oh snap, I gotta see that. The only reason that people are going to see the Marvel movies right now is because you already are 10 years plus invested in this continued story, and I don't want to miss the in-betweens. That's literally the only reason I go at all. I don't care about Guardians of the Galaxy, I went to go see this film because I don't want to miss something in this continued
you
story.
just explained. You just described what Mason was doing, though.
What
Mason? You said, I need to watch all of them to keep up with the story. That's what you said, right?
Yes, but that's
exactly what you're doing. I'm just saying that's what Morgan just described, though.
Yeah,
guys, guys, can y'all name $1 billion movie that's not a superhero movie?
Avatar.
Outside of Avatar?
No, Jumanji was 900 million. Jumanji was close though. The first Jumanji
was Avatar, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
Maverick made $1 billion. That made $1 billion.
Yeah,
it made $2 billion, my friend.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Mission Impossible will. Mission Impossible is going to do $1 billion.
Did Star Wars make $1 billion?
Yeah,
Star Wars made $1 billion.
It's franchises. People, this is my thing. Like people want to like single out superheroes. I'm like, dude, they're franchises just like everything else. Don't nobody say, man, I'm tired of that Fast and Furious fatigue. Like, no, y'all show up every time.
Fast 10 ain't gonna make $1 billion. Fast 10 is not gonna make this.
I've been done with Fast and Furious. Like, I'm
just saying, people show up though.
Fast 10 is already, you can rent it right now.
Yeah, it's already out.
But that's the problem with $1 billion. Like, hitting $1 billion, it's going to get more and more difficult the faster the movies come out. So we can't use that as a barometer for fatigue. Now that's why I asked, what is your barometer outside of you personally? Because if you're just saying I'm tired of, I need a break from superheroes, I mean, that's fine. Like somebody made the example, like if you eat pizza every day, you're probably going to be tired of pizza at some point. That's not necessarily superhero fatigue. That's just you being tired of pizza until a really good slice of pizza comes up.
Well, it would. Dag, that's
rest in peace. Those two guys in submarine. They ain't coming back.
There's people in the submarine right now.
They ain't coming back. They ain't coming back, y'all.
I should laugh at that. That's not right.
I'm not laughing. I'm just that's your bomb. Laugh about that.
That's crazy.
Hey, they said them dudes are ripped. They said they're riveted from the outside. So even if they find them, they stuck.
I don't.
They done.
I feel very bad for that. I feel very bad for that situation, bro.
Add 5 to the body count. Titanic's a monster.
I will say they might get saved by the Meg.
Shit. Stop, Morgan. Shut up.
My bad, shut man. Up. I'm sorry,
hey,
man.
I didn't say it.
I'm sorry.
I didn't say it.
What's bad with y'all, man?
I didn't say it. Y'all.
I didn't say it.
Too much.
I didn't say it.
Man, I'm sorry. Man, my bad, bro. My bad, yo.
Somebody gonna be mad at Morgan tomorrow, man.
Man, I tried to stop it, but it was already, you know what I mean?
That just came out. You got that's the one you gotta reel back in.
Yeah. Let's sink in.
Too soon. Too soon.
I will say this. And if y'all are good on that convo, I do want to get into the Blackening for those of us who have seen it, even if it's just to shout it out that y'all need to go see it. But
what, the Blackening?
Yeah,
that shit's gonna make a lot of money in like the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is getting around.
Yeah.
So
hey,
that
time
movie
out.
will be in the theater.
Hey Morgan, if it make $1 billion after like 2 months, does that still count?
I didn't say it don't count. See, I think you mistaken. I think you mistaken what I'm saying.
You just say you don't respect it as much as if it don't make it in like 2 weeks.
I said
it was a barometer for
success. I didn't say I don't respect it. What I said is generally when you're looking at a movie and its box office success, You're looking at the first
It's
2
the
weeks.
first 2 weeks.
You're looking at
Yeah.
the first 2 weekends to be the barometer of how well that movie did. If your
gonna do.
movie if
No,
your
no, no.
movie's
How
budget
well it's going
if
to
your
do.
movie's budget was $50 million and in 2 weeks you make $250 million, that's massive success. If you go over budget at all, that's success regardless, because that's profit. But if in 2 weeks you hit $250 million, I don't care what the movie is, that's success.
I agree, but I'm saying that it's just a different form of success. Because if you have that same $50 million budget, but you got some good legs and word of mouth comes and it takes you 2 months to get that 250, it don't matter if you got it in 2 weeks or 2 months. Now it's going to look framed different. Hold on. Let me
Morgan's right.
It's going to be framed differently.
The first 2 weeks only matter about a film. It only matters about.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say it'll be framed
everything everywhere all at once made its profit back the first weekend.
Hold on. I'm saying
everybody started talking about it.
But I'm saying it's framed differently. But the 250 is still 250. It's just framed differently.
But it's not. But you're saying it doesn't matter if it makes it to $1 billion. It doesn't matter how long it took it to get there. And I disagree. It's if it takes it again, making $1 billion on any film is awesome, right? I'm not trying to discount that. What I'm saying is, we just did the convention this weekend, right? Mm-hmm. We just did Heroes Con. If we could walk away from the con and say, "Yo, I made $2,000 this weekend at Heroes Con," that's one barometer for me to be able to speak to other investors, right? If I say we made $2,000 in the last 4 cons, both are good, right? Depending on how much you normally sell. But if I made $2,000 at one con, which one is going to speak more for like how well I did at least at that con? If you're trying to convince somebody of what they should invest in and why they should invest in it, if you're showing me that I can not only can I get my money back, but I can get it back as a quick investment, that's different from I can get this money back over a longer period of time. Both are good, but one's better. If I'm an investor, if I'm an investor,
I don't know if that works though. And the reason why I say it doesn't work, because we just talked about Avatar. When we talked about what movie made $1 billion, well, what did we all say? Avatar. How long did Avatar take to make $1 billion?
Avatar has legs.
But that's my point.
Avatar gets big numbers out the gate.
Avatar has legs.
In 2 weeks, you just said it. Hold on, Ryan. In 2 weeks, how long? I mean, before, how long did you say it took Avatar to make $1 billion?
It took 6 months, but Avatar made $245 million on its opening.
But again, I'm just talking about if you make $1 billion, it doesn't matter if you made it. It matters within how the narrative works, whether you made it in 2 weeks in a month. Because if you make it in 2 weeks,
the movie doubles. If it doubles its box office in 2 weeks, it stays in the theater.
I understand that.
That's the bottom line.
I understand.
That's why Avatar made $1 billion.
Listen to me, guys.
It stayed in the theater.
But y'all not listening to me. I just said it matters in the narrative, because at the end of the day, if you say, like, it's like if Lumberjacks makes $2 million in 2 weeks, I mean $1 billion in 2 weeks, you could be like, I made $1 billion in 2 weeks. But if you only end with like 1.2 billion, and then I got Heat out, but it takes 6 months to make 1.5 billion. You and I can both say we both got $1 billion movies. Now you could say, hold on, you could say I made mine in 2 weeks. And I'd be like, okay, I made mine in 6 months, same amount of money. But it's just the narrative.
But if I'm going to an investor, which one sounds better to that investor?
The investor ain't going. They're not really going to matter though, because if you say $1 billion, $1 billion is $1 billion.
You as an investor, you would want your money back faster.
You don't think that? You think an investor is really going to split hairs on how long?
Yes, that's exactly why they invest. I don't
think that matters as much as you think it does. If you have $1 billion property, it doesn't matter how that billion got made. $1 billion is $1 billion.
One project's going to cause me trepidation. The other project, I'm like, yo, that's all. Like, every investor is looking for that money back as quickly as possible, unless they are. Normally, you're looking at it as, is this a short-term investment? Is this a long-term investment? Right? For movies, Is it great if you make $2 billion over the course of a year? Yes, right. That's great, but
that's not really generally going to happen. I'm just talking about the length of the run in the length of the run in the theater. The length of the run in the theater is generally it used to be. It used to be like 6 months. Now it's like
used to be a long
and now that's not a thing.
But let's say the average length of this, like the average length is what, 2 months? Maybe
you got 2 weeks to show us what you got.
Okay, but cool. Let's say your movie took you 2 weeks. We're
about to pull Little Mermaid here soon.
Right. You say yours took you 2 weeks, but mine took me 2 months. Okay, the investor might hold on. The investor might go, wow, 2 weeks, that's cool. But in the end, the bottom line is the billion.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because it's still $1 billion property.
Does time equal money?
Doesn't matter. Okay, so you think Avatar again? I'm gonna go to Avatar.
You think they only want to make one investment?
I'm just saying. Okay, how long did it take? How long did it take Black Panther to make $1 billion?
It was. I want to say it was a little.
It was like 2-3 weeks, right?
It was 2 or 3 weeks.
Less than Avatar, right?
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was quick.
Both got sequels. Both are franchises.
Yeah, but the sequel didn't make $1 billion.
What'd you say?
The sequel didn't make $1 billion.
No, it didn't.
It was close.
Didn't make $1 billion. The sequel to Avatar gonna make $1 billion, but it doesn't matter.
It made $2 billion.
That's terrible.
But the point being is that, again, yes, the narrative that yes, you got two, huh?
So they should have recast T'Challa.
Oh my God!
I can't. Nope.
Out. I'm out. We ain't getting into that. We ain't getting into that.
I have held on
$1 billion.
I've held on to my New Year's Eve resolution.
So you knew what you had to do. You knew what you had to do, and you didn't do it. So you didn't make it. It's no $1 billion for you.
And by the way, the whole Flash thing, I'm not going to. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not going to see the Flash. I don't really like what's it? Oh boy,
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. I hate his Barry Allen. I hate his Barry Allen. Hate it.
Yes.
And number two, it's a Flash movie that I don't think I've seen more of Supergirl in the Flash and Batman than of the damn Flash.
You're going to.
That's on purpose.
They killed his marketing.
Yeah.
Because of the controversy.
It don't matter about the marketing. The story before the wait, no. I'm saying
they changed the whole marketing because
no, forget the marketing. This was the script for the movie. The script for the movie.
No. He is 100% throughout that whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't even.
Even still.
No,
but if I don't like Ezra Miller.
Yeah, but
no one does.
Supergirl's in the movie for like.
No one
yeah,
likes
but Ryan's point is that he's been to see the movie. Ryan's point is that he's been to see the movie. Flash is all throughout that movie. Supergirl looks like she's in it more than she is based on marketing.
Yeah,
Ryan's saying they changed the marketing because that dude was an issue. And
I believe it. No, I believe it. I'm just saying that. I don't.
To be fair though, the biggest issue with that movie though is that there's two issues.
They rushed it.
The first issue was that Justice League came out 5 years ago.
Yep.
So, I mean, no one really cares about that anymore.
100% correct.
James Gunn has already come out and said that none of this shit matters. So, I mean, so why am I saying this movie?
You're right. You're 1,000,000% right. Thank you. Also,
right there,
Manuel, to answer your question, do you think marketing played a huge part in that? Yes, I do.
No, I agree.
100%.
I think marketing has something to do with it. I think Ezra Miller's nonsense has something to do with it, and I think DC and it being a DCEU movie pre James Gunn has something to do with it.
Yeah,
and that's why nobody gives a crap, and it's not going to change. And there's nothing they could do but just go ahead and get that money off the books. What did it do? $55 million this weekend. It'll do 20 next week.
Aquaman 2 is the next flop coming up.
It'll do, yeah. Yep. I don't care about that either. There are no films.
Both these films are going to fail.
I don't care.
It was already predestined to
fail.
Real quick, I'm telling you right now, the next DC movies are gonna flop too. I mean, he's making Swamp Thing. Who cares about Swamp Thing?
No, let me say this. Hold on.
Who cares about that?
Let me say this. I do. The reason they brought James Gunn over there.
Hey, everybody gonna go to a Batman movie, man. If history has told me one thing,
Batman's always a fucking success.
I'll tell you right now, though, but not the third Batman movie in like what 7 years.
Sir.
Batman.
People showed
Brave
up
and the
for
Bold is
Batman
not
and
supposed to
Superman.
come out to like 2028 or 2029 or something. We got time.
People always show up, dude.
I'm
They
telling you
went
right
and
now,
got-
it's not for
They
that.
showed up for Batman and Robin after Batman Forever.
Yeah, because it's
That's
Batman
the
and
point.
Robin.
The reason they went and got James Gunn is to fix their original sin, which is not making it a connected universe. And
That's not
reason
the original
the
sin.
reason
Henry
the
Cavill back.
That's not the original sin. The original sin was hiring Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I give you that.
I disagree. I think if they had Zack Snyder and still made it a connected universe, they'd still be in a better space than they are
Man
right
of
now.
Steel was garbage.
I'm one.
I
Javon,
wouldn't say that. Nah,
Garbage. You see this?
No.
You see this piece of garbage?
we're not doing that.
See,
Hot
you
garbage.
see what I'm
Not
saying?
doing that.
Hot
Listen,
garbage.
We're not doing
As
that.
I
Batman versus
said-
Superman.
So
Hot garbage.
as I said, James
Justice
Gunn
League.
is there to
Like Henry
save.
Cavill.
James Gunn is there to save the DCEU, and it
I
will
like
work.
his Dawn of the Dead.
The only way it
300.
won't work is if that Superman movie that's supposed to be starting his universe, if that joint sucks,
it's gonna suck.
then they'll be in trouble.
They're killing the DCU if the movie is not a success. They're going to kill it.
If
But it's gonna suck anyway.
if that movie sucks, they're gonna be
I think it
in
has a good
trouble.
chance to be good.
All right.
If that
Hold on.
movie sucks, they will
We're
be
not
in
gonna
trouble.
do this, Jay. We're not gonna do this. They did not throw any monkey wrenches into Man of Steel. They let him do everything he wanted to do.
No,
Keep it a
bro.
buck.
Man of Steel was purely written. It was all. It was all.
Man
Zack
of Steel
Snyder,
was
bro.
pure
That is
Zack
him.
Snyder.
Danny,
but
if you don't take
That is
this
Zack
down,
Snyder.
Hence the
Will you get
the
blocked?
neck snapping and Lois Lane finding out
All
about
What they messed
Superman.
up
All
at,
of
though, was
Krypton,
that they should
everything
have
he
made
was
Man of Steel
heavily
2 instead of
involved
BVS.
in pre-production. That is all Zack Snyder.
Man of Steel was
The way Krypton looked,
Good
that
and
is Zack
terrible.
Snyder.
They should have made Man of Steel 2 instead of BVS.
They should have made Man of Steel too.
Instead of
I
BVS.
don't
Right.
disagree with that at all.
Man vs.
They
Superman was
should've-
was a
they
disaster.
should've hired lawyers to keep
I
him
did
away
not
from the
hate
set.
Man of Steel, to be honest with you. So
Yeah,
I
Man
mean,
Steel 2 would have.
and
I like
I
Man of
don't like the
Steel.
DCU.
Man of Steel was terrible, though. I don't
To
know
you.
why y'all back this movie.
It's
I feel
good.
like
What are you hating?
good and terrible.
Okay, all right, real quick.
Yeah, go
'Cause
ahead.
I don't
Mason.
want to dwell on this. In your view, what makes Man of Steel terrible?
Oh God,
Because all right, here we go. I done did this
In
before.
1
I'm gonna
minute,
do it again.
60 seconds. You have 60 seconds.
Mason, why
60
did you do
seconds.
this?
Don't pull no
It
Kevin
does not
Costner
keep,
twister
it does
shit.
not
Why
keep
did
the
you do this
spirit
to us,
of what
bruh?
Superman is. It's a nihilist version of what they believe Superman is. It makes no logical sense on multiple levels. Why would his father
wasn't
want
even
him to?
Superman in the
a-
movie yet,
why would his
bro.
father want him to let a bus full of people die?
He didn't
Buffalo
say that.
children.
He said maybe. Maybe.
Maybe means a part of you thinks that they should have died.
Yeah, to keep you safe. Now, the
The
funny thing is,
bulletproof
towards the end,
kid?
though, you realize that his dad was wrong for that.
Jay, we got you, bro. You should have told us you wanted to come through, man.
That's-
I
hate that
don't
movie
want
with
to. I don't
a
want to
passion.
give. I
a
don't want to give
fiery
Devon
passion.
any air on this, bro. Like,
God,
because
dog.
it's gonna turn into like way too
I
much.
hate
and
that
I just
movie
don't
so
wanna-
much. Y'all
I
have
agree with
no
you, man.
idea, dude. And I
But listen,
love Superman.
I'll just
I
say to
love
close things
Superman.
out for you guys, okay?
Hate that movie.
That's
You know,
terrible.
Marvel-
that you love him
So
so
the thing
much.
is, right now, Marvel doesn't have anything really exciting coming down the pipe.
True.
You know,
Y'all
until we
gonna
see
feel-
X-Men.
I can't wait till Marvels come out and everybody's like, "Oh, I love the
Nah,
movie."
man, Marvel's looks like garbage, man.
It does. It look. You,
Bruh,
see, but
come
that's what
on
I'm saying.
now. You thought
Just
that
because,
looked horrible?
just because you're
This
not
Marvel was-
excited to go see
Okay,
the movie
alright.
ahead of time doesn't mean that you can't go to the movie and,
I
and
understand
actually end
that.
up liking it.
I understand that, but a lot of people going to change.
Like
their
Guardians of
mind.
Galaxy-
A lot of people going to change their voices after.
Guardians
Ain't
of the
gonna talk about
Galaxy, I had
superhero
no
fatigue.
care to go see at all. I
Huh?
only went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because it was the next one in line.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
finish
like
it off.
every other Marvel movie.
And
But I
finish it off.
did thoroughly enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
Right?
mean, you
I
just-
definitely
y'all
only went to
niggas
go see
fake
Ant-Man.
2 and 3.
I literally only went to go see Ant-Man because Jonathan Majors was in it and because it was the next Marvel movie. And I wanted to support Jonathan. Now,
I still think the way
did I
people
like the
view
movie?
Quantum
Nope.
Mania will be different if the stuff had happened with Jonathan
No.
Majors.
No,
nah.
I think people are backing
No.
away a little bit. That's just my opinion.
the problem with
No.
Ant-Man 3 was
That
that they
movie was
killed
trash.
Kang in
It's
the
a
movie.
bad movie. It's just
It
a
was
Yeah,
bad
not a
A
good
Kang.
movie.
A Kang.
Well, yeah, but it's like, but you still killed Kang. It's like, okay, so how is
And
this guy
then
a threat?
showed there were more Kangs ready to go.
Yeah, but
Man,
who
don't
cares if we
nobody
kill
care
them all?
about them Kangs,
Like I said,
bro.
I'm dying
Ain't
next.
nobody scared of Kang at
Y'all-
all.
The fact that y'all think Man of Steel is good and
we
some of
changed the
these other
subject.
movies are bad, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, look, All I'm telling you is, and I'm gonna try to move on from this.
I'm surprised Michael Watson didn't manifest.
You keep saying that he's going to.
like
Yeah.
Candyman.
Pop up.
Don't think he's gonna pop up with hot shot on his chest.
Don't say his name.
Don't think he's gonna pop up with hot shot
It's
on his
gonna
chest.
pop up.
We will. You keep it up.
Pop up.
I agree. Jay.
Every time I get on
the
the podcast and talk trash about Men of Steel, he just be
Don't pop
popping
up.
up. I be like, what you doing?
I ain't argued with my bro in a long time, but I'm gonna let
Mike
him
will
have
come
you
up
on
in
that
here
one,
and be
sir.
like, "Oh, y'all, Man of Steel is shit."
Trash Superman.
If I start talking trash
Trash
about Fast and
Justice
Furious,
League
he'll be
movie.
on here.
Trash Batman versus Superman.
Well,
movie.
okay, so real quick, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Do you guys think leaving the Batman as an ongoing franchise is a mistake when you're making another Batman movie on top of it? Is that a
Come on, the
mistake?
one that Robert Pattinson
That is a
Kill
really
off.
good question.
Yeah.
But that Batman is its own standing thing.
Well,
So
that's
I
what I
feel
mean.
like it's going to be a success regardless.
Yeah.
You have A-list actors. There's been I love the writing of the Batman.
Mhm.
So I'm very interested to see. I just hate the fucking last 45 minutes of that movie.
Oh, really?
Because
You talking about
they
the
want to
Robert
make
Pattinson one?
him mythic. My problem with making a grounded superhero mythic irritates the shit out of me. And like, I
okay.
don't like that. They could have ended it when Falcone got shot and killed. I would have been done. So like, it would have been complete for me. So like, I'm looking forward to the Penguin series. It is literally its own thing. They can do so much with that world. So
They can
no,
do
I don't
whatever they
think it's
want.
going to fail. I think it will be a success.
Well,
I think it's
okay.
stupid to have two
What about
Batman
Batman Brave and
exist
the
at the
Bold?
same time.
What do you say, Javon? I'm sorry.
I think
What
it's
was that?
stupid to have two
I
Batman
agree.
existing in franchises at the same time. It's dumb.
Yeah, but
They're
it's
doing
DC,
too
so
much.
that's what they do. They're great at it.
They're doing too much.
They're great at failing.
They'll be.
Even the first, even
They
the
are
first,
great at
even the,
failing. They are
They're
great at failing.
failing.
they are
Best
they're
failures I
exceptional.
know.
They're exceptional.
But even
at
the
that.
first, even the Batman movie, the one that came out with Patterson, I wasn't really a fan of it. It's okay.
Nah, I don't. I mean, they could have hired somebody else to play Batman, but
I
as an
like
overall
I like
story,
the grit that they brought. I like the
grit
grit that they
and the
brought to it,
feel,
but
the
nobody.
tone, the
I
story.
didn't like Batman taking on machine gun fire at point blank range, like
Well,
Iron Man. I was like,
You know,
what the
I'll
hell?
give it a solid 6. You know, it wasn't as good as what was the second Nolan movie,
Oh,
Dark
Dark
Knight.
Knight.
It wasn't as good as Dark Knight. To
Nothing
me,
as
that's
good
the
as Dark
pinnacle
Knight.
Batman movie.
I would tell you if Heath Ledger wasn't in that film would be trash. So
Ryan and I
Oh, yeah.
agree on things.
wait, what now?
Which is fine.
Wait,
We
what?
Ryan and I agree on
Wait,
things.
what was the comment? What was the comment?
Oh, The Dark Knight and how epically and phenomenal that fucking film is. It's
That's
not
right.
phenomenal. The only reason why it's phenomenal is because Heath Ledger made an anarchist villain that can never
Exactly.
be repeated ever again on
What's
film.
wrong with that?
That's the only thing.
What's
If you
wrong
take
with
him
that?
out of that film, you take him out of that movie is straight garbage.
Can
okay?
I say something?
I'm not going to
Yeah, but that's the point of the movie.
That.
The point of the movie is to have the antagonist push the protagonist to the edge.
That's
There it is,
fine.
Mason.
If it was
Can I-
just
can I
Two-Face,
say-
if it was
I-
just Two-Face and Batman, it would be trash.
Yeah, you
Batman,
gotta read
here's the
Just
thing though.
saying.
Batman's appeal. But see, the thing is, Batman's appeal is typically his rogues gallery. Because Batman himself
Yeah, his
is not an
villains.
amazing character.
Yeah,
His
a lot of
villains
people
were
disagree
made
with
good.
you on that.
But
No,
Christian
I'm
In the
not.
Bale,
movies, in the
He
movies, in
received
the
all the
cartoon,
accolades because it was
the
amazing.
cartoon, he's
I just-
fleshed out more. But
My
like in the
problem
movies,
with the Dark
he's a
Knight.
very plain character. It's his
My problem
villains
with the
that
Dark
make it
Knight
interesting.
is the end.
yeah, Christian Bale is trash. He's the worst actor.
Dang,
The worst.
The worst.
dang.
I don't
Like
even
Ben,
fucking
like
like
Ben
What's the
Affleck
George
don't
Clooney?
exist.
You say he's the worst Batman?
I would put fucking George Clooney above Christian Bale.
No, you
oh
crazy.
no.
Nah, man,
No,
I can't
no.
back up on that one.
No,
Listen, guys.
You
Val
ain't
Kilmer?
batting great tonight, man. You ain't-
Val
no,
Kilmer.
no.
No,
I don't like
Let me
No,
tell you,
I
this
don't-
is my
I just
issue with
don't
the
like
Dark
him.
Knight, and Morgan
You
knows
we
my
usually
issue
on
with the
same
Dark
page,
Knight.
bro. But good guy.
My issue with the Dark Knight
That
is
was
that the
dandy right
ending
there.
makes no sense.
What did you say?
The ending of the Dark Knight makes no sense within the context of the entire film. The entire film, they make a point to say Batman doesn't kill, Batman doesn't kill, Batman doesn't kill. Right?
Yeah.
The Joker is constantly pushing him, pushing him, pushing him. At the end of the movie, he kills Two-Face.
by accident.
You
Right,
don't tackle a man off a ledge
But
he tackled him off of a ledge.
He didn't mean to kill him, but so it was an accidental killing. He didn't mean to kill the guy.
Duly noted, Jeff.
Oh, so so I want you to try and tackle somebody off a ledge, and you tell me if the court will deem you if that's murder.
Okay, let's be real,
tackled a
Javon.
man off a ledge.
Let's be real. Batman has killed everybody he's been in film with.
And
he killed people in Batman Returns. He killed
But
people
again,
in Batman.
but that's
he's
not my
not
point.
joking.
Again, hold on.
Oil.
It's
Kill
not.
people in
Again,
Batman
I'm with
versus
you.
Superman.
I grew up with.
We done thrown that shit out the window.
Didn't he kill Jack Nicholson?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, he
Michael
did.
Keaton was
He killed Jack
murdering.
Nicholson.
He killed the crap
killed
out of
the
Jack
fucking
Nicholson, bro.
circus people in Batman
He
Returns.
killed the crap out of that.
He killed him
dude.
twice.
He fell into some
He killed
good
Nicholson
shit.
twice.
Hold on, though. But
What do you
y'all
know
missing
that
the
man
point.
killed
though.
him?
You missing the point.
Batman
Face
kills.
melted.
Michael
Period.
Keaton was killing people left and right, but they didn't
Yes.
spend the entire movie saying Batman doesn't kill. Batman doesn't kill. I can't kill. I can't kill. And then he goes and kills somebody.
I don't wear hockey pads, guys.
Not
I
only
don't wear
does he
hockey
kill
pads.
somebody,
Remember that line.
not only does he
Okay?
kill somebody,
I don't
he
wear
gets
hockey
up and
pads.
pretends like he didn't do it.
Well,
He's like,
Man,
I'll
Mason
shoulder
said
it.
was
I'm
a
like, what you
mistake.
mean you shoulder it? You killed him.
Mason said it was a mistake, bro. God dog, bro. Get off Batman's back. What's
But
wrong with you?
he literally pretended like he didn't do it.
Man,
Talk
get
about
off
I'll
Batman's
shoulder
back,
it.
bro.
Put it on me. Of course I'm gonna put it
Leave
on
that
you.
man
You
alone.
killed him.
You leave Batman alone.
No.
Guys, let me tell you
He
why
said-
Bell.
No.
Let me
So
tell
what
you why
happened was
Bell is
that
my worst Batman.
no, but so what
Let me
happened
tell you
was
why
that
Bell's
Go ahead, Mason. I want to hear this.
So what happened was that
Watch. Go
Gordon
ahead, Mason.
told Batman that all the crimes that Two-Face did was going to tarnish Harvey Dent's name and cause chaos to the city. So Batman said, "Okay, instead of putting it on
Let me
Two-Face,
kill him.
put his crimes on me, not Harvey Dent. That way,
put the
Harvey Dent's
murder of
legacy
Two-Face
is still
on him.
pure, because that was the Joker's goal. His goal was to bring down Harvey Dent because Harvey Dent was viewed as like this big
He
angel
was
in
White
the city.
Knight.
That's not what. No,
The
he
White
didn't
Knight
say
of the
put
city, that's right.
Two-Face's crimes on him. He said put the murder of Two-Face
No.
on him.
No.
Yes, he did.
No, watch it again.
Yes,
Two-Face
no,
did it.
he's
No,
saying that.
Two-Face
No,
did
he's
Two-Face did a
saying
series
that
of murders
because
leading
he
up to that
did.
point. And Gordon said, "Hey, this is bad because Two-Face,
It was
aka
about
Harvey Dent,
Harvey.
did all these crimes, and now he's a criminal.
He,
And people are going to lose
he
faith
killed one
in
person.
the justice
No,
system.
two people. He killed two people.
No, I think he
Yeah,
killed two more than that.
but the
He
point
killed
is
two people.
the point is that Harvey was the White Knight, bro.
Yeah.
You can't let you if Joker shows that he's corrupt, then
Exactly.
the problem perpetuates.
Yep.
Guys, go watch
Batman said, "Put his
go
crimes
watch
on
the
me."
Dark Knight Rises. They
We don't
put
talk
the
about
mur-
that movie because that's what made me hate Bell's fucking Batman.
What,
Watch
I
that
mean-
Bane and Bell fight scene. That shit is just all straight garbage. Okay,
Hey,
I
man, that's a
loved
bad
it.
movie too, though.
that
Real
solidified
talk.
Don't do
Real
that.
talk.
making
It's
me
not a
Dark
bad
Knight
movie,
Rises
bro.
is terrible, yo.
garbage.
It's not a bad movie.
Dark
Bro.
Knight Rises is terrible, yo.
No, it's not.
Morgan.
Wait a minute. You
More-
tell
what's-
me he
what's
was
as good as
able
that?
to tell me how he was able to escape a freaking
I was born in darkness, and I was born in
adopted the dark.
No,
I was born in it.
Get out of here.
the only thing I'll give Dark Knight Rises is the fight between Bane and Batman at the
Trash.
first one.
The stadium blowing
When
up
he,
was
sna-
dope.
when he snatched him. I mean, the stadium,
The-
that was a good
Ra's
image.
al
That
Ghul's
was cool
daughter.
imagery.
That was a great twist.
No.
Yes, it
It was
was.
No,
not.
well, the problem with
Everybody saw
that
bro.
twist is it made Bane look like a punk.
Yeah, like a
I don't
bitch.
care.
The other problem is that
But we know
fight
Bane's not
choreography
a
in those
punk. He's
movies
a
were terrible. Also, the fight choreography was awful.
I like
Awful.
but when
Brought
he
that entire
broke
series.
his back, I
Horrible
thought that was a
fight
good
for me.
fight. That was the only one.
Thank
I want
you,
you to know
Mason.
which one would break first, your brain or your body.
That's pretty good.
Crack.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
You was born in darkness. You were
About
born in darkness.
I didn't mind his thingy, the accent. I didn't mind it.
Ain't no, but Bale is fine though. Bale was a good. The only thing I had with him is his voice, his lisp. That's the only thing. I hated the lisp.
Well, that.
I mean, he can't help that though.
Listen,
But he ain't worse than. Listen, they're way worse. Clooney.
I'm fucking with you. Clooney's the worst Batman.
I'm about to say,
Follow
Even though
God.
I thought Clooney would have been Clooney
Clooney's
would have
the
been
worst.
good
Bell
if in a better Batman
is-
movie.
It's Clooney and then
down
Val
there.
Kilmer for me.
I like
That
Kilmer
was
better
okay.
than
He
Bell.
was just in a bad movie though.
I'm good.
Yeah. But Batman Forever is a bad movie. So.
Val Kilmer.
There are a
would've
lot of
been
bad
good
Batman
Yes, the Schumacher cut is 100% better. So,
I'm not even gonna investigate that.
but I'm not even gonna even.
I
say
mean,
it's
Keaton
better.
is the best Batman. I don't care what nobody say.
Keaton is by far.
I'll give that.
Followed by Affleck.
I rocked him. All right. So the
By
black
who?
the blackening. If you have not seen that film, please go see it. Please, just so I can talk about it. I want to talk about it openly because I think my favorite part of the entire movie.
Please don't spoil it.
I'm not going to.
Be careful, more.
I'm not going to spoil it. I promise. My favorite part of the entire movie is the premise of why it all happened. It is.
Mason took off.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Don't spoil it, man. Come on, man.
The premise of the entire movie for why it all happened is my favorite part of the entire movie. Like, not to mention all of the tropes that they executed greatly.
I feel like you just tap dancing the line.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna spoil it.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
See, thank
He's
you.
doing
Thank
well.
you.
Like this is the line. He's
I just can't wait for y'all to watch it because when you guys see why it all happened, you're gonna be like, "Yo, that crap is super black." that is super
all
black.
right, that's it. End it right
that
there.
Is super black to the max.
Stop.
Oh, his computer died. His computer died.
Okay. Yeah. Your computer died.
You could be like, it's super black to the max, and I love every minute of it. I can't wait for it to come out on streaming so I can watch it again. It definitely, you can go see it by yourself like I did, but if you go see it with friends, you will be dying laughing.
All right, let's do these lists. Let's do these lists because I don't want. I feel like you're gonna start feeling it, and then
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Val was a better Bruce, and Keaton was a better Batman.
Whoa.
Nah, Keaton was a really good Bruce, man.
I don't.
Keaton had fucking gravitas to his Bruce, bro.
Yeah,
like,
Keaton is the best Batman.
Like,
the only thing bad about Keaton is they made him the Punisher.
Like Bruce Wayne. Yeah,
they had him shooting up everybody.
Just like Nicholson. Heath Ledger is my number one Joker, but Nicholson was very hard to beat. Very
give
hard.
Nicholson number 2.
You got to understand, like Nicholson was playing the gangster joke.
Yeah,
like,
I love
interpretations.
Yeah,
of like fucking Ledger is an anarchist.
Yeah. They like tied to me though. They like tied.
Nicholson was a gangster joke.
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix is good too.
Whatever Jared Leto.
I mean, we don't talk about Joaquin
I'm good
Phoenix.
on Jared Leto.
Joaquin Phoenix, that was a terrible movie. I don't care.
Joaquin Phoenix is just
that was a terrible movie. I couldn't even make it through it.
That movie was not terrible.
I couldn't even make it through it, dude.
No, that movie's great, bro.
Yeah, you wild out.
From a visual
great movie
standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, from a film standpoint.
It's literally a ripoff of Taxi Driver.
I don't care nothing about that.
I don't care.
I mean,
Taxi Driver is
it's not a joke. I don't care.
Anyway,
I'll fight.
To these lists.
I fight to death.
To these lists, because I got a bunch of joints that I couldn't put on my list that I'm gonna name anyway.
You got a list, Ryan?
Yeah, you got a list.
You got a list? I know you a movie dude. You should be able to.
I can project movies right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say you a movie buff, so I know you got something in the quiver.
Top 5 revenge movies.
Top 5 revenge movies. All right. Danny did his, so I guess we could read his.
All right.
Throw it up.
He didn't do it in private chat. Let me see where he put it.
I'll find it.
It's in the. I saw it in the
he make it easy on us, man.
He trying to sabotage.
Okay, I'll do Danny's. So he got number 5, Upgrade. Number 4,
Upgrade's a good film.
Unforgiven. Number 3, John Wick 2.
No,
this is one of his most sound books so far. What is 2. Upgrade. Number 4,
Unforgiven. John Wick 2. Number 2, Django, and number 1, Gladiator.
Django. 2.
Okay.
2 is what?
Django.
Oh, 2 is Django. What's number 3?
John Wick. Excuse me.
2.
And number 1 is Gladiator.
1. Gladiator. All right.
Ryan, you want to go? Or you need a minute?
Yeah, he got to come up with off the top of his head. You go, Javon.
All right. Number 5. Dang, this was hard, dude. I got to be honest.
There's so many.
It was extremely hard for me.
There was so many I wanted to put on here, and
there's a lot of revenge films.
Yeah, there was so many. I mean, I had revenge film fatigue.
You do.
Number 5, John Wick. The first one. I mean,
Mhm.
he got
You
he
might
get
as well just put
revenge
the
for his
franchise.
dog.
I'm just gonna
Like,
put the franchise. 'cause
Nah, man, no, don't do that. Number one,
it's too late. I'm just typing John Wick. It's 4
just
of them.
John Wick, not the whole franchise. The first movie.
I
What?
mean,
Yeah.
No,
No, you can't do a whole franchise. What you doing?
Yes, you can.
No.
no. Because
It's
you
Bruh.
not
got to
top
consider,
five
you got to
revenge
consider
franchises.
Morgan. John Wick was a general revenge film. The rest follow the continental and the
Yes,
lore
thank
of
you.
John Wick.
The rest aren't
So,
about revenge.
John
for
Wick
anything.
is just a straight revenge film.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
I'll
Thank
allow
you.
it. I'll
What do
put
you
the
allow
saga.
it? That's what it
I'll
is,
put the
man.
saga. So
Whatever. Number 4, Gladiator.
Yep.
Disrespectful.
Number 3.
But I wouldn't put it at 4. Why the hell you put it at 4?
Disrespectful.
John?
Number 3.
Disrespectful.
Listen here, Negroes. Number 3, Taken.
Man, get out of here.
Number 2.
I'm about to cut.
Listen, for the depths of what this woman did to
I'm
get
about to cut.
revenge on her husband, I'm
Gone Girl.
sorry. Gone Girl.
Yeah, I know.
My God.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I
Number
was
one.
thinking in my head.
Old
Yeah.
girl. What she did. Listen. I've never everything I've seen with that actress in it. She still terrifies me. She
Rosamund
did
Pike is
such a
great.
good job and won in the end.
Mm-hmm.
If
What?
that ain't a revenge
Number
film,
one is what?
number 1 is Old Boy.
Okay.
Number 1 is Old Boy.
I thought you said Evil Dead.
Oh God, no.
right, I'm
Number
gonna
1 is
go.
Old Boy, man. Listen,
I'm gonna
that
go.
is the greatest. That to me, that is one of the greatest double revenge movies I have ever seen. I mean, everybody come out dirty. Everybody come out dirty.
Let me know when I'm ready.
Go ahead,
All
Ryan.
right, go ahead, man.
5, Snowpiercer.
Oh,
4,
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer is a revenge movie. It's a revenge movie.
Okay.
Revenge.
Watch it again, Javon. Watch it again. Number 4, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Number 3, John Wick. Number 2, Gone Girl. Number 1, Gladiator.
Number 1.
Mhm.
Why are you saying that with like a?
Because
Like-
I mean, I
like-
feel like
like
I feel like
out.
I feel like other movies.
No,
Hold on, let me finish. You asked me a question, I'm gonna answer it.
I
feel
was
like-
asking because I wanted to hear the response.
I mean, you gonna get it. I feel like other movies had worse atrocities.
Actually, change my number 5 to Immortals with Henry Cavill.
I could do that.
Yes. He killed his. All he did is kill his mama.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of.
Killed his whole town. Killed his whole town.
That's right. Killed his whole time. You're right.
All right. So
I'm still thinking about Snowpiercer. What was the revenge for?
Snowpiercer is a revenge film because the whole point of the film is what the suffering of what he had to go through by the head boss. He ate babies, bro. He ate babies.
I guess. Okay. I guess.
So the whole point is to take the lead and become the new leader and kill him.
Okay. I got you.
There was a vendetta.
I got you.
All right.
I
There
got
was
you.
a vendetta.
Okay.
all right. Number 5, Gone Girl.
Woo!
Number 4,
That's a good film.
Number 4, John Wick. Number 3, Kill Bill. Y'all disrespectful tonight. Y'all disrespectful, and I want to fuss, but I'm gonna wait. Number 2, Django. Number 1, Gladiator. I mean, Gladiator should be the undisputed number 1.
Over Old Boy? Listen.
Yes.
Old Boy is a
Old Boy?
really good movie.
This man.
I'm
this
not
man-
saying
that's
it's
hard.
not good, but it's
I
not
got
better than
you.
I didn't
Gladiator.
even think
Let's do
about
it. Let's
Old
do
Boy.
this.
Old Boy is
This dude.
there.
This dude
bro.
captured him, put
Yeah.
him in literally, put him in seclusion for like 15 years. No, it was 10 years. 10 years of seclusion. Then he got out. He got vengeance on
He was in
everybody
prison for
who
2
he
years.
thought it was. And then in the end, the original dude got this dude to sleep with his own daughter.
I mean, it's
And then what did he do? He stabbed his own eyes out.
it's
Yeah, it's up there.
it's effed
That
up,
is
but
a
it's not better than
double
Gladiator.
revenge movie for your behind.
But it's not better than Gladiator though.
Man, stop.
Bro,
Man,
Gladiator, this dude was
Man,
lit.
stop.
Gladiator,
Man,
was- no, Maximus, there, no, you're tripping.
Man, stop.
Maximus was chosen to be next in
The
line.
betrayal
He was
in
chosen
that
to be
film
next
in
in line.
Gladiator
I understand,
And
but
then-
he ain't
and
have to
then
sleep
you-
with his own
His
daughter.
own son murdered his father, then found out that Maximus was supposed to be next.
He didn't have to.
So not only does he
slept-
come out the
He
Maximus,
got manipulated
I'll let
into
you talk.
sleeping with
I'll
his
let you
own
talk.
daughter.
I let you talk. Then not only does he steal the kingdom because he knows Maximus is going to do what his father
That's a
wanted
good one.
him to do, but then after he does that, he races to Maximus's house and not only rapes the wife,
I know the plot of the
but
book.
he burns her. He burns them while they're living, his wife and his son, at his estate. Just
Okay.
because, and
I
then
hear
he
you.
thought he killed Maximus off. Maximus is taken from being literal king, emperor,
to slave.
to a slave, and fights his way back up to kill this dude, and he still stabbed him with a fatal wound before the final battle in front of everybody as if it was a fair fight.
Okay.
You can't top it. You can't top it. You can't top it for visual.
Oh boy, hold on.
You
hold
can't
on.
top
We
it for
talking
acting?
about the better revenge film, not
No.
the better film. The better revenge film. That's what we're
Gladiator's
talking
better.
about. Gladiator is a better film. Oh boy is a better revenge film.
I would tell you,
I disagree.
Kill Bill is incredible,
Yes, it is.
but Kill Bill is more. The thing with me, I have a love and hate relationship with Tarantino. I'm gonna be real with you.
Okay. Okay.
I have a love and hate relationship with
Which
Tarantino.
movies do you hate?
I don't like anything like Death Proof, any of the Rodriguez correlations.
I don't like that.
I don't like
Please
Once
don't say you
Upon a
don't like
Time
it.
in Hollywood. I don't
You didn't like
I
that?
haven't even watched that yet.
No. I
Did-
love
did you
Reservoir
like-
Dogs. Love Pulp Fiction. That's my favorite Tarantino film.
Did you like
Love
Inglourious Basterds?
Kill Bill. Love Django. Love all those films. But I just have a love in it. Like Inglourious Basterds walks a fine
still haven't
line with
watched
me
That joint was
because
right
it's
here for me.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible, but it's scary how good it is.
I agree.
It's just the acting in that film is like another level, and it's just
You're right.
like I can't watch it again because it's so fucking scary in the best way possible.
Yeah,
You
that-
know,
the
But-
only
but-
one scene in there that will stay in my mind forever.
But the
So-
other reason why I didn't have Gladiator higher is because I take into account what they did to get revenge. And I
Mhm.
mean, Gladiator, he stabbed Holmes in the end. He just killed him. Like,
he
there
was
wasn't,
barely
like-
living.
I understand the process on what happened, but I'm talking about the like, okay, the reason why Gone Girl is so high for
Gone
me
Girl.
is because the depths
Because
of
it
what
was
she
epic
did.
planning.
Hold on. It's the depths
Some
of what he
epic
did to get revenge,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this dude, I mean, he was a slave and then he fought, and then
I have one question though, Javon.
yeah,
Before you even go there, why in the hell is Taken on your
you want to
list?
know why I take it? Because that man laid
I was gonna
waste
say
to
the same
Europe.
thing.
That man laid waste to Europe to find his daughter. He killed everybody.
That's the reason.
He was blown.
He just
again,
went through niggas.
he murdered half of Europe to
But you
find
got
his
the above
daughter.
Gladiator.
That to me, again, it's the depths of what you had to do to get revenge. And I don't
think-
feel like what he did. I mean,
you
it
think
was
harder?
inspirational what he did, but in the end, he just had to kill one man, and then he killed that
No.
one man.
No.
No. There's a lot more that goes on with
You
It
Wow,
Matt.
wasn't a
Character.
part of his
He fought
revenge.
an
Though.
entire
Hold on.
kingdom.
Time out. It wasn't a part of his revenge. He was doing that to survive. The people on my list, the movies in my list, they did those things specifically to get revenge.
You got to
But
understand
he
though.
had
with
he had
Gladiator,
no other path to kill
He
him.
wasn't
In
going to do
Gladiator,
anything. Remember,
the
he was
Javon,
suicidal
from the
until he
jump in
saw
that
Old
movie,
Boy.
he wanted out. From the jump in the movie from Gladiator, he
No, I
wanted
understand
out.
that, but I'm talking about
Like he didn't want to be part of
He
anything
didn't,
Right.
even,
anymore.
he didn't,
I
he didn't even
understand.
want to do what the emperor asked him to do.
I
But he did
understand
that
what you
respectfully.
guys are saying, But if we're talking about revenge, I'm talking about what did that person. Yep, make sure you get that on there.
Javon got the win last week.
Yes, sir.
By 1.
Doesn't matter if I got it by 1 or 1,000. The
Shut
win
up.
is a win. It's about the depths that person took to get their revenge, which is why I got Old Boy on top, which is why I got Gone Girl there, which is why I got Taken. That man literally, he was killing people from the airport to the boats. Like he was.
But you got Taken over John
everybody.
Wick.
No.
I liked because I felt like the stakes were a little higher because he was going for his living daughter as opposed to getting upset about his dead dog. That's all. That's where it was because his daughter, that was the stakes.
I mean, it was more than a dog, though.
I mean, nobody, there was nobody that he was rescuing.
It was more than a dog, though.
I mean, obviously, from an emotional standpoint, yes, but Taken,
Like
in
his wife
Taken, he was
versus
trying to
nobody.
get his daughter.
His
In
dead
this
wife
one, he
versus-
was avenging the dog.
Inglorious. So, all right. True Grit was close for me.
No.
True Grit was close for me. I
Ooh.
love that movie to death.
Unforgiven was going to be on my list.
The Revenant.
But I knew somebody was going to say something.
The Revenant was very. The Revenant was.
Revenant was another one.
The Revenant was my number 5 all day until like 5, and I was like, nah, bro, Gone Girl.
The Revenant's really
I got one
good
for
too.
you. I got one for you.
I almost put The Revenant at number 5 simply because it's a true story, and they said what the dude went through in real life was worse than what we watched in the movie.
I still
I'm like,
haven't seen The Revenant yet.
You are.
Oh my god!
It's on my list. It's on my list.
It's a movie.
You're.
It's an experience.
That movie
That's
is
all I-
fantastic.
Man,
It's an
listen.
experience.
You of all people, don't ever shame me about watching the movie. All right.
Ocean's 11 almost made it. If I had
Yeah,
more
it's a
time-
revenge movie.
If
I would
had
have
more-
put Ocean's 13 over Ocean's 11
no way.
as a
Ocean's
revenge
11.
movie because they were all going after Old Boy because that dude almost died. Siobhan from
Yeah,
Your
but
Thought
Ocean's
Process.
11. Ocean's 11. You try to take you took my
Equalizer would
wife,
have been
man.
more of a. I mean,
Equalizer's good.
Equalizer
but
was good,
Equalizer is a full thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
was-
put Man
I
on
don't-
Fire before Equalizer.
yeah, I put Men on Fire before
Yeah.
Equalizer too.
but I got one
Yeah.
for you. Memento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Hey,
one-
you know what
that
I was about to
close.
put on here? You know what I was about to put on here, and we would just had to argue. I could have picked between either one of them. Rocky 4, Creed 2. For me, it would have been Creed 2 because
It would have been Creed 2.
it would have been Creed 2 for
Rocky
me.
4, dude.
No,
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4 is a good Rocky movie though.
Rocky
I mean,
4
Rocky 4.
it's
Rocky
between
4,
those two
Rocky
for best.
4 has more imminent revenge. Like he just died, and now he's just fighting the dude who killed him. As opposed
Yeah, you're
to
right, but that's
fighting
but
the
that's his
dude
daddy
that
though.
killed the dude's son who killed. Like, I mean, you're getting revenge on somebody that had nothing to do with it. Sure, okay, all right.
He look that dude.
Captain America: Civil War is a revenge flick.
It is. Tony wants the Winter Soldier dead. He killed his parents.
Yeah,
Good point.
Revenge.
I got one.
But on a retrospect of these other dark films
Yeah,
that we're
hey,
talking
hey,
about,
you're close.
has no comparison.
What
Harry-
about Ma
that can't possibly make a top 5.
as a revenge flick?
No,
What
it's
she
good.
did?
It's
Kids?
Bro, it was gonna be funny. And I was gonna say The Last Dragon.
Danny would have loved that.
Who's the revenge on?
Danny would have loved that.
Who's
I'm
the
surprised the
revenge on?
Princess Bride wasn't on Danny's list.
Wait. Who's the revenge on for the Last Dragon?
Oh, to be the chosen one, the all-time master. You got to beat showing up, brother.
But that's not revenge, though.
I know
What's your-
Beverly said The Crow on her list, and I went back to watch The Crow specifically to see if it qualifies.
It's style
And that
over
movie is
substance.
not good.
What
I
is it?
I said
it
it's
is not
style over
good.
substance.
it is not
Which
good.
one?
The Crow.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I like The Crow.
Yeah, no,
Don't
I
look
do
at
not.
me. I like The Crow, but it
Mm-mm.
is style over substance.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
It
The
is
movie's
style
not
over
good.
substance.
yeah. Like
It is. It is a period film with a certain tone.
oh yeah, it's definitely a product of the '90s.
Product
You're
of
right.
the 90s for sure.
It is the acting is all hammy,
It's terrible.
but
Terrible acting.
but again,
Terrible acting.
you know what movie I
terrible
forgot?
editing.
I'm disappointed in myself.
He died, Morgan.
Hey, listen, I don't know what you want me to
There's
tell
a
you.
period where they had to cut.
I don't know what you want me to tell you, bro.
to make it work.
Yeah, he died.
I
man.
apologize. I'm pointing to.
They ain't have
the
AI
obvious.
back then. They ain't have deepfake, bro.
Listen, bro, I don't know
No,
what
they
you
had
want
to
me to
cut
tell you.
around that. They had to use a stunt double.
Right.
Two other movies. I really wanted to
something
consider.
today, man. You getting at the people in the Titanic thing?
Too soon.
You on it tonight, man.
Two other movies I wanted to consider. Ex Machina. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
Okay.
Ex Machina is a shit. I should have put that on my
See,
list. That's really fucking good.
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina is a really good movie.
And
Baron Zemo took revenge on. Yeah, you're right.
And Candyman. The new
one or
Yep.
old school Candyman?
The new one. The new Candyman.
Yeah, that's a revenge film. Oh.
I couldn't put it on my list.
In the
end. I couldn't put it on my list, but it is. If I had a top 10, it definitely would have made my top 10.
Everything we just talked about would be on my top 10 tonight.
I forgot about Desperado, man.
Yeah, there's no way Taken can be on my list. That's crazy.
I forgot about Desperado. That's one of my favorite movies. I don't know how I forgot.
Desperado is a revenge film.
Desperado would have been.
Hey,
Kill Bill not.
Brian, have you seen The Menu?
Crazy.
I love The Menu.
That
bro.
is a revenge film.
That was a surprise. That was a surprise.
Yes,
that was a surprise for me.
I didn't know I would like it like I did.
Yeah, I loved it.
The Menu was pretty good. I definitely.
I'm gonna go see The Blackening this weekend.
Yes,
I gotta go
for sure.
Please do,
because everybody's talking about
Please
it.
go see it.
So,
I got a revenge movie.
Talk about it next week.
I got a revenge movie. Hard Candy.
Hard Candy's good.
I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Hard Candy.
Hard Candy's good.
That's a great one. I got another one, and I'm surprised this didn't make nobody's list. I thought it would have made Danny's list, but it might be too demonic for him. Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, Danny likes those cuddly films.
Sweeney Todd.
What is it?
Sweeney Todd.
I'm good.
Sweeney Todd and the Street Barber of Fleet.
I'm good.
He's murdering folks.
He's killing people.
Feeding them.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's not a revenge film. I'm just saying it ain't.
But it's a musical, nonetheless.
And then Death Wish. I'm surprised.
Death Wish
that was one of the OG
revenge film.
Oh, and somebody brought up I Spit on Your Grave.
I haven't seen it.
I can't watch myself. I can't pull myself to watch I Spit on My Grave.
I've been watching a lot of black exploitation films and shit, and old like 90 films lately on Amazon Prime. So I've been watching a whole bunch of black exploitation films lately.
I'll be with you. I'll be right there.
So a lot of black shit is in my head right now.
Yeah, Foxy Brown is a revenge movie.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one she did? Why can't I remember the other Pam Grier movie?
Any Clint Eastwood movie is a revenge film.
Absolutely.
Nobody did Carrie either.
I said it.
Carrie's a horror film. Carrie
That's a revenge movie, though.
It's a revenge movie, but it's more of a horror film.
I would agree with that.
You could have.
I actually like the new Carrie. Like, I love the new one with Chloe Grace Moretz. Like, I even like that.
I don't remember if I liked it better than it's been a while since I watched the first one.
I love the first one with Sissy Spacek.
I mean, I loved it. I loved it.
I don't
remember
one,
if I liked it.
It just hits you some kind of way.
She tears Ish up way more in the new one.
She hits you right. Yeah.
She tears Ish up way more.
Yeah.
What else did I have?
Thoughts on the new Craven trailer, gentlemen?
All right, let me be honest with you. You know what the Craven trailer looks like?
Morbius up in the group.
The Craven, no. The Craven trailer looks like a superhero movie that would have came out in
2001 or 2002.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And it looks like
I don't know what Sony is doing over there, bro. But they need to fire someone, bro.
They keep making these movies that look like they came out.
Movies look like they come out of fucking Blade era. I can't do. Don't get me wrong. No cap, no hate. Blade is the pinnacle. It was started it all. And Blade is a phenomenal film. Blade 2,
nope.
Blade 2 is incredible. Blade 3, hot track.
Didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Like,
we have no idea what you're talking about.
They're making these films feel dated as all shit, and I can't stand it. I don't know what they're doing over there. You got people in animation who are making incredible movies like across the universe, and you can't translate that over to live action. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
I think that I don't have any. No comment. I will say this: what we were discussing earlier. I don't, and it speaks to my fatigue. I don't care if it is not. I'm not going to see a superhero movie that is not connected to the MCU or some type of connected universe unless there are rave reviews. Unless there are rave reviews for the film, like, yo, you gotta go see this. Otherwise, I just don't care. Again, the only thing that puts my butt in the chair for Marvel movies right now at all is the fact that it is a part of a connected universe. That is it. It is not because I'm excited. It's not because I care. It's not because I can't wait to see this other character besides Wakanda Forever. The DCEU, I don't care. Not until, all right, this is supposed to be the first movie that's going to start this franchise over. Fine, I'll go see that. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I don't care. If they came out with it, I love Invincible, the animated series, but if they came out with a live action version, would I go see it? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go unless somebody told me like, yo, that joint is fire.
Wait a minute, time out. That don't make no sense. If you like, if the same people around the same people are making an Invincible movie, you telling me you ain't gonna go see it and you love the cartoon?
Nope.
Okay, that's
not
interesting logic.
Not unless people told me, yo, that joint's fire. You got to go see it. Other than that, I don't care. I'm good.
I mean, I think that.
I mean, I agree with Morgan. Like, for me, I'm the same way right now. You have to drag me to a damn theater now to get me out. Because to me, like, I have a relative kind of like fatigue for these movies because these movies are late. That's the thing, like we were talking about earlier. The Flash was supposed to come out in 2018, you know? And my thing is that it went through development hell, writers, directors, COVID, all that shit. It is way too late for me to care, especially now that the DCEU ended last year. So for me, it doesn't really matter. I didn't care for Black Adam. I don't care for the second Aquaman. I don't care for the Flash. I don't care for any of these post DCEU movies. Like, I just don't. That's why they're not making money, because no one cares.
But I feel like it's not like a, but again, this goes back. I don't think that's fatigue. I think that's a cynicism towards those in charge of making it, right? It's like, well, hold on. Like, that's like saying like comic books, I got comic book fatigue. Well,
that's possible.
Hold on. But it's like, it's comic book fatigue until you find something that you really like. Like, if you say I'm tired of comic books, and then I show you Y the Last Man, and you're like, yo, this is amazing. You weren't really tired of comics. You were tired of stuff you were reading, and you didn't like what you were reading. You got something you like, and then,
though, bro, what sucks though is basic stories don't sell anymore. Like, they're making Oppenheimer, okay? Christopher Nolan's new film that's coming out.
Yeah, I'm good on that too.
No one's going to go see that.
Yeah, I'm certainly.
No,
I'm interested to see how that goes. It's going to fail. I'm really interested.
It's going to fail.
I'm interested to see how the box office goes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I'm really interested to see.
I'm interested to see what numbers it makes, but I'm going to be 100% real with you. No one I know is interested in any of that right now.
I agree, Jatobi.
You can tag Christopher Nolan's name all over it.
Don't make no difference.
No one's not. I don't even believe anybody's going to see it.
No,
I believe Tom Cruise is going to put seats. Tom Cruise is going to put seats into Mission Possible.
Sure is.
But not Oppenheimer. Okay, so that's. But Oppenheimer is not a superhero film, not an action film, not anything. It's just about the dude who
created Adam.
I bet it's a good movie though.
It might be.
Okay, I'm sure it's great.
It's just like that.
Powerhouse actors in it. I'm sure it's incredible.
Star.
But do I want to sit down for 2.5 hours watch as this man build a bomb? No.
Star power is starting to wane some too for people going out to see movies. because
It's dead.
because what the DCU was counting on for Black Adam was that The Rock was going to put butts in seats, and we all saw that that's not a thing.
Didn't happen.
People like what was that movie that Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, John David Washington,
Amsterdam. They put nobody in seats.
Nobody gave a GD about that movie, and they had an awesome cast. Awesome cast.
Yeah, and that movie's budget was over $250 million.
Exactly.
So,
but that speaks to it again. It speaks to not even fatigue from comic books. It speaks to how Hollywood has changed, how the market has changed when it comes to movies, and stuff like that. Like people, it takes a lot to get people to go to movies now. Like
not
if
it's something that you want.
No, I mean it depends, because there's some movies that are really good that just didn't make a lot of money in theaters. Like it is what it is, man. Like you can't like we just talked about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. For whatever you want to say about the recast, it was a really good movie.
It was
a really good movie, but it didn't put the butts in seats like the first one did.
Yeah, but the first one it was the second one
game changer.
The first one is a historic game changer moment. It's that like you can't compare anything to that moment. There's nothing that we've ever seen in Hollywood that compares to that.
But it's not again, it can't act like other movies that weren't game changers didn't put butts in seats with sequels.
The
Spider-Man movies keep making money. The Spider-Man movies keep putting butts in seats with every iteration.
Are you comparing that to Black Panther #1?
No Way Home was a game changer. No Way Home was we're not gonna act like game changer. It wasn't a game changer.
Again, in the way that Black Panther was.
Guys.
Time out.
Wait, guys. $1 billion movie.
Yeah, but
No Way Home.
We're talking about it being a game. Black Panther #1 does not have an equal for a game change as far as the game changer movie.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop it.
All right,
listen,
go ahead.
I know you love everything black, and we are black men. And for our culture,
I'm listening.
For our culture, it was a game changer. All right, I will say that.
Can you tell me why Craven dropped on Juneteenth,
What'd you say?
guys? Craven dropped on Juneteenth. That was weird.
That was weird. They couldn't have waited one day.
It's not weird. Y'all know why that happened. But
my point
yeah,
being for Black Panther,
point.
Black Panther was a game changer for our culture. All right,
it was more than that.
But for other people outside of our culture, we ain't the only people on this earth. It was a really good superhero movie.
You think they didn't realize that it was a game changer?
I think they realized that it meant a lot to us, but I don't think it meant as much to other people outside of the black culture as you think it did.
It meant a lot to Hollywood.
That's a different story. That is a different thing than what I'm talking about.
You said it meant a lot to our culture. Of course it did. But another reason that I'm saying that it's a game changer in a way that I've not seen before, and I don't think can be compared, is because it literally, we already are in a renaissance for African-American creators in America. Black Panther is the standard that every African-American creator and every movie company points to now to say, oh, snap, a black-led film with a black cast, people in front of and behind the cameras can make $1 billion. There's never been that before.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But you can't act like it's not the only movie that has never been a game changer and showed Hollywood that something
I said on that level.
Done.
I said on that level.
You don't think Avengers wasn't a bigger game changer than Black Panther?
Hell no. No, absolutely not.
You silly in your head. It literally forced DC and Warner Brothers to shift their entire film slate, to change itself. How many other films have we seen that have tried to avenger that stuff and put different franchises together? It's literally why we are where we are right now on a larger scale than Black Panther.
I disagree.
You disagree, but you'd be wrong. The whole shared universe, the whole shared universe thing is Avengers. If Avengers flopped, nobody will be doing this shared universe thing.
100.
If Avengers flop, what?
If Avengers
If
flop,
Avengers flop, there will be no
there
connected
will be
universe
no other
bullshit.
people trying to literally. Universal Studios tried to do a connected universe with the Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein, and all that, and the Wolf failed.
So
The
y'all,
only
y'all,
reason
so
they
y'all
tried
think,
to do that is the Avengers. It
y'all think the
changed
MCU
Hollywood on a fundamental level.
So y'all think the MCU was only planned up to Avengers, and we were just gonna see how that goes?
Why have they never done it until this point?
What do you mean?
DC has been
Blade is a connected universe.
Time out. DC has been putting out
Alien
superhero
vs.
movies
Predator?
since the 70s.
Star Wars. There's a bunch of connected universes that work.
Star Wars
Trek?
was never looked at in the way that the MCU is looked at now. And
Wait,
before,
what is it?
Let me finish. Star Wars movies were looked at as one single
Singular thing.
storyline. Not
That's
a
what the
different-
MCU is.
No, the MCU is multiple franchises pulled together. You have the Iron Man franchise. You have the Captain America franchise. You have the Thor franchise.
You saying they decided to do an MCU after Avengers?
Okay, again, I'm going to ask you the same question. DC has been putting out superhero movies since the 70s. Not one time outside of animation did Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman come together. Not one time.
Wonder Woman, Linda Carter.
No other superhero universe has done this. Not
even early Marvel.
No other movie universe, no studio has done it.
X-Men, any of that. None of that.
No studio has done it. Now, let's keep it a buck. There have been other movies with all black casts and black people behind the scenes and everything. That has existed. That has been here. It has been here. Now, what it did show Hollywood is that you can pump money into that. Now, I'm giving you that. But on a fundamental level, the Avengers changed Hollywood in a way that has not been seen ever before.
Changed the game.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
So you're telling me that the MCU as we know it got created after the success of Avengers?
No, what I'm saying to you is that the Avengers showed that it could work.
But they hadn't already planned that it was going to work.
Number one, they had no idea. Go back and watch. I promise.
There was no plan after
they had no.
Do you
know
after Thanos was seen, after Thanos in that post-credit scene, they didn't have anything beyond.
Forget that. No. Ryan, you going too far. Iron Man. In the first Iron Man, the post-credit scene.
It was the Avenger initiative.
In the post-credit scene, they had 3 different versions.
Yeah.
And they chose one. They didn't know if they were going to make a movie after Iron Man.
Yep.
They put up their properties. They literally put up their properties as collateral for the money to do Iron Man. If Iron Man flopped, they would have lost like their characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the Avengers flopped, bruh. Come on now.
What?
I'm again.
I don't think
you're talking about TV shows, Jatovi. You talking about TV?
I don't think for a second that the Avengers movie. I'm going to look it up. That's number one.
You're welcome.
I know I am. Thanks. I appreciate your permission.
That's what I'm here for.
The Black Panther movie again
changed the game.
Changed the game in a way that I don't think has ever been done in Hollywood before.
Have black films with black casts and black people behind the scenes ever existed before Black Panther?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that wasn't what changed. That didn't change the game.
It did.
They were doing that before.
It did largely. There are Hollywood executives everywhere.
Hold on. The only thing it changed is that Hollywood said we can put money into this, more money than they were doing beforehand.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that. Black Panther was a global fucking phenomenon.
I'm not disagreeing with you on
globally.
That. I didn't disagree with you on that.
Black film.
Brian, I'm not disagreeing
Name another
with you
black film Javon, off the top of your
Ryan,
head.
I am not
That is a
disagreeing with
global
you.
phenomenon.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
You
it
I'm
changed.
saying
Avengers was a
that I
bigger
didn't
deal.
say it didn't change the game. I said it told Hollywood that they could put more money in these type of films than they had before. That's the difference.
But you're
I'm
saying
saying if you
Avengers,
compare it to Avengers, I'm saying Avengers literally changed how Hollywood looks at their franchise and their properties.
Oh, 100%. I'll agree
Black
with you
Panther
there.
did too.
Not to the level that the
Yeah,
Avengers
it did.
All right.
It did. There's no way to refute the fact that it literally
I'm
changed Hollywood.
giving you facts right now, and you ain't listening to
I'm
me.
giving you
I
facts
just told
that
you
you've
that
already
Universal
acknowledged.
Studios decided to do a shared universe. In literally, at no point did they really try to do a shared universe before. This is even Star Wars.
But
Star
is
Wars
that-
had that. Hold on. Star Wars had that one singular film storyline, and then post Avengers, now we got Rogue One. It's the Star Wars. They
everything.
even call it the
Yeah.
Star Wars shared universe or the Star Wars cinematic universe. DC Comics at no point had Christopher Reeve and Michael Keaton sharing the same film. At no point. No point. And
But
now,
why
after
are you-
Avengers, even in DC, they even made a point to show you that they originally did Man of Steel, and they were going to do Man of Steel 2, and then Avengers dropped, and Avengers was a game changer. So now we got to throw Batman and Superman together, and now we got to rush and do Justice League. They literally changed
What's good, Tony?
everything.
But that doesn't. That's
Everything,
not a big,
dude.
That is not a bigger impact than Black
Now
Panther.
and then you see all these different franchises coming together that never came together before to make movies. I mean, they were you know how crazy it is.
Y'all are saying everyone,
Hold on.
and you're
Hold on.
only talking about DC.
No. I gave you Universal. You know that there were plans in place to do a crossover between 21 Jump Street and Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't
And you
happen.
think that's because of the
That
Avengers?
doesn't happen without the Avengers, dude.
That's
Did
true.
have you ever heard of something like that before the Avengers?
It's true.
I don't think I've ever even thought to think about whether that was a thing or not, because I know
Exactly, but that's the point.
I've seen movies connected in the same franchise before. I've seen it with Alien. I've seen it with Alien versus Predator. I've seen it with Predator. I've seen it with Star Wars. I've
You
seen
never
it with
saw it with
Blade.
Star Wars. You never saw it with Star Wars.
What do you mean?
never
It's
saw
a
it
connected
either.
story in
You
the
never
same
saw it
universe.
on film.
All of it is
before
canon.
Avengers.
How is that different from
What'd you say?
MCU?
Again, it's
Every
a prequel.
movie in Star Wars
You're talking
is
about
canon in the
prequels.
same
No.
story.
Morgan, stop. You're talking about there were Star
my
Wars volumes, 4, 5, and 6, and then they released Star Wars volumes 1, 2, and 3. That is a prequel, sir. It's a prequel. It's the same storyline. It's not
The
like we
MCU
took
is the same
Star Trek.
storyline.
It's not like we took Star Trek and we put it in Star Wars.
The
And then
MCU is the same storyline.
it's not. It's multiple franchises together, dude.
It's multiple franchises in the same universe because it's the Marvel comics. It's the
a
Marvel
cine-
comics.
okay,
That's
dude.
why it's coming from the same universe. It's
So
the same
every Marvel
storyline.
comic is the same.
What are you talking? Is it a
That's the
Marvel
point
comic?
I'm trying to make.
It's
They're different
in
franchises,
comics.
dude.
It's in comics. Is Iron Man connected to Thor? Are they in the same universe?
Yes, but they ain't telling the same damn story.
Is Captain America connected to Thor and Iron Man? Is it
But
in
they
the
aren't
same
telling the
universe?
same story, dude. You don't know the difference?
No, what I'm telling you're
Wait a minute,
making.
okay,
this
I got
like
you.
the
Is
MCU was some
Lumberjacks- hold on,
masterful
I got
thing
you.
that
No,
never
no, no,
happened
no,
before,
I
like
got
they
you.
were never
No.
connected films
Is
in the same
Lumberjacks and
universe.
Ace
That's
Blade in
BS.
the same universe?
There have always been a
Are
connected
Lumberjacks-
story in franchises.
Morgan, answer my question. Are Lumberjacks and Ace Blade in the same universe?
Yes.
But it's the same franchise?
What you mean is it the same franchise? It's in
You
the same
understand what I
universe.
mean by
Yes.
franchise, right? They're
Yes,
separate
their stories
properties,
are directly connected to each other.
but it's a separate property, is it not?
All of them are.
Is Ace Blade telling its own story and Lumberjacks telling its own story?
Yes, that still are connected to each other.
But they're
Directly
separate.
connected.
But they are separate stories. So
In the
your
same
storyline.
universe.
So in your storyline, is it connected to Ace Blade?
Yes,
The
it's directly
storyline-
connected.
the
The novels
first-
are directly connected.
Okay. So
There's never
I
been
don't
a
know if
point
you're
in our
being-
universe
I don't know if
that
you're
they
being
are
willfully
not directly
obtuse or just
connected.
being stubborn. If you can't tell the difference between two different storylines, two different franchises,
Divine.
just because they're in the same universe don't mean it's the same damn same damn storyline. It's not the same
would it
storyline.
not
It's a
be?
different franchise. Guardians is telling a different story than Thor. Thor is telling a different story than Captain America.
Is it
Captain
still
America's
in the
telling a
same
different-
universe as one
Okay, great.
storyline?
Okay, when has that happened before?
What are you? Star Wars, Alien,
Star Wars is
Alien
telling
versus
this.
Predator,
It's one-
Terminator.
okay, stop. Star
Blade.
Wars. Listen, from the first Star Wars to the last movie that stopped is telling the Skywalker. And I don't even watch Star Wars, and I know this crap. It's telling the story of the Skywalker family. Am I wrong, Ryan?
No, it is completely the
It
Skywalker
is the
side.
Skywalker. So we are talking about one storyline.
Yeah.
Now, Rogue One is telling its own story. It's connected, but it's its
To the
own
Skywalker side.
story.
Okay.
How
What
are
about
you, as a
Alien?
writer, not willing to understand?
What about
that
Alien?
Aliens is telling one story. Predator is telling another story.
Are they connected?
When they
in the same universe?
intersect,
Are they connected in the same universe?
they're they're in the same, but they're not telling the
so
same
it's been
story.
done before, and it
Morgan,
didn't need
you
the
ain't
Avengers.
this, Morgan. You ain't.
It's
you
been
smarter
done
than
before, and
this,
it didn't
dude.
need
Come
the
on, man.
Avengers.
Morgan, you smarter than this.
All
You
right,
smarter than this.
it's all good,
Dude,
bro. You got it.
what you mean you got it?
You got
can't
it,
tell
bro.
that there's two
You
different
got it.
franchises.
How about this?
You,
Wait a
Come on
minute.
now.
yeah, because
Wait a minute.
my intelligence is being questioned at this point, so
I
it's all
just
good.
Wait a
said
minute.
you're smarter
You got
than
it, bro.
this.
Wait a minute. To agree to disagree.
But no, that's
it's all
not a
good.
disagree. There's Superman telling his own story, and
Yep.
then there's Batman. Batman
Yep.
telling
Gentlemen, I
their
work
own
in the morning.
story.
I love you guys.
And then when they
Bye.
cross over, they cross over.
Great.
That crossover is that specific story.
Yep, you're right.
I mean, you ain't got to be passive aggressive about it.
There's no passive
It is
aggressive.
passive aggressive.
You no. It's if I, Javon.
You just don't want to acknowledge that something else had a bigger impact than Black
which
Panther.
is why Ryan said we should agree to disagree
I know,
because
but you
there
don't
is
want to
no
admit
agreement
that
happening
something
here.
else.
There's no
God forbid
agreement
something
happening.
else
There's no
had a
agreement
bigger
happening. You
impact
can
than
have
Black
it. You can
Panther,
talk to
though.
them. There's nothing else to talk
Because
about.
Black
on that
Panther
subject.
came after.
There's nothing else to talk about on that subject with
I'm
me.
just
You can
saying.
talk about it with them.
Bro, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I feel like he's being
I'm
willfully
telling you,
obtuse
Rose.
about it, dude.
I thought I was the only
you're
one.
a
You know
writer,
what I'm saying?
dude. You can understand that
It's all good.
Lumberjacks is telling his own story,
Nah, it's
and then
cool.
Ace Blade is telling his own
It's
story.
cool, bro. You can continue that conversation with them. There's nothing else to talk about here. It's cool.
I mean, if you want to be like that, that's fine. You know,
That's the only way
I
to
don't need
be.
to get stank about it. You
There's
know,
no stank.
you know the difference. You know the
Before
difference.
Ryan got off of this stream, he said we should agree to disagree.
I just don't
That's
understand.
all there's left to
I
do.
don't understand.
There's
Dude.
nothing
Why
else
you
to
getting
discuss.
why you getting passive about it, man?
There's nothing. How am I being passive by
You
telling
are
you
being
there is
passive.
no discussion
I
between
feel like
me
you're
and you on
being
this
stubborn
subject?
with acknowledging.
There's no
this
stubbornness. I'm
specific
telling
thing.
you that there's nothing to agree to between me and you on this subject.
Okay, all right, man.
That's
All
it.
right. All right. I mean, you
There's
saying it
nothing
wrong.
passive about that. There's nothing passive about that.
Passive is you got this. That's being passive aggressive.
I
by
said
the
you
way.
got this, then I explained to you why you got it.
I know, but that was
Because
when
we're
I
not
said
going
that's
to
what you're being
agree.
passive. That's what I'm talking about.
So you think you're getting ready to change my mind after I've told you you're not
I'm
going to
not
change my
saying that
mind?
I'm going to change your mind. I'm
So what the hell
not
are we
going.
talking about
Clearly,
it for
you
then?
don't. Clearly,
Why are we talking about it, right?
I'm not.
All
I'm
right,
stopping.
great. So am I still being passive?
Is this Hartford, Connecticut you referred to? No, dude, I just don't understand. This is not me talking to Morgan. I'm talking to Ro. I don't understand how somebody cannot understand that this is one thing and then this is the other. And then when they cross over, they tell the story of the crossover, but they are separate storylines. That's all. And I don't know why he is insistent on not agree. At the very least, I'm not saying that you got to agree with me on Star Wars or whether who had the better impact, who the bigger impact, because we're not going to agree on that. But to not acknowledge that, yes, this is different and then this is different, even though they're in the same universe. Hold on. BP had a bigger cultural impact BP had a bigger cultural impact for Black folks, dude. I think y'all are overstating how much of an impact it had for outside of the Black community. But that's just my opinion. But we can agree to disagree. It's all good. Do you need me to put mine in?
I hope that everybody gets a chance to go see The Blackening this week, bro. This week or this weekend, so that next Tuesday we can talk about it. Because I'm telling y'all, that movie was really good. I had a feeling it was going to be good, but it definitely exceeded my expectations, which were already good. I already had good expectations.
Using Morgan's comics to make a point. I thought it was kind of making a good point. If Danny and him have two separate franchises that are telling a different story but happen to be in the same universe, they're in the same universe, but they're telling different stories. Now, when you cross over, that's the, note, fellas, great talk. Yeah, man, Mason, we gotta get you on again, man. That was good, man. That was always good.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know what our list is gonna be next week.
What was the hold on? I put like a bunch of them.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know Danny brought up there was one before the revenge films. I just don't remember what it was.
He said
hostage films or something.
Hostage film.
It was something like that.
I need to do some research on that. I can't.
Yeah, I don't even know 5 hostage films that I can think of.
Oh man, I forgot a revenge movie. Damn, what's the movie with Zoe Saldana?
Colombiana.
That was good. So we got
wouldn't be top 5 though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be top 5. I just forgot.
Top 10 maybe. No.
Hold on. The list we had. Oh, damn it. I lost it. Top 5 movie psychopaths, top 5 cartoon to live action adaptions, top 5 movie athletes, top 5 fake movie songs, top 5 romantic R&B songs, top 5 workout songs, top 5 R&B debut singles, top 5 rap debut singles, top 5 hostage movies, top 5 heroes I disagree with. Yeah, that was a lot. You want me to repost that down here?
I mean, we can put it in the group page and let them vote.
We should probably do like 4 at a time or something.
Yeah, it don't matter to me. I mean,
it just spreads out the votes.
If they, yeah. I mean, if they vote on it, then we can just pull it from there, and then when Danny makes the graphic, he can go to the group page and just print off which ones won. Like I said, next week, I mean, of course, we know there's other stuff that's probably gonna come up this week between now and next Tuesday. I hope everybody go see the Black in the Know so I can talk about it openly.
That's on my list.
And I mean, if people want to, because one conversation we were supposed to continue was the comics broke me. We can also circle back to this conversation about the which one had a bigger impact, the Avengers on the film industry or Black Panther. We can circle back to that too, because that'll give more time for more context, more information to become a part of the conversation. So y'all let us know. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want us to circle back to that, we definitely can. If y'all want us to circle back to comics broke me, because that was something that was brought up before.
That comics broke me thing is funny because we've seen a backlash to it too now.
Yeah, but I think that's another reason why I think the conversation is good to have, because just like the one we had earlier tonight about what were we talking about first?
The fatigue.
About the superhero movie fatigue. That's also another one where it's there's nuance. To me, there's nuance there, which is what makes the conversation. Because one of the things I want to circle back to on the comics broke me conversation is, and it's not to sound harsh, but like I know in the specific, the article that I read about the issue was talking about specifically, or the people that were most affected. I know Amani brought that up. The people that are most affected are those artists that are strictly artists, like their only money comes from these projects that do it for Marvel or DC, or that are doing freelance or whatever. They don't have a 9 to 5. To me, there's a conversation there too, because that is we all watch films and get inspired about, for people. Steve Harvey gives really great talks on, the fact that you reach a point in your life where you have to jump in order to make your dream work. Right. But there's also conversation to when you make that jump, that's the struggle for a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? Because all of us that really love storytelling and really love doing it through the mediums that we're doing it, would like to do that full time. But it takes time, faith, effort, opportunities. There's all kinds of things that go into that pot for you to stir to figure out whether you can do that and sustain it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like what the different factors are. I know Kickstarter for me is a huge factor in that, when it comes to artists and whether or not they should or shouldn't jump. And the Comics Broke Me argument of, you know, being in between those jobs with the Marvel or DC, you being a private contractor, whatever, and then having a hard life. There's it still goes back to another conversation we've had before, off of the back of the Dame Dash conversation on the Breakfast Club about like Dame Dash when he went on the Breakfast Club for that famous conversation where he was saying Charlemagne, Envy, and Yee were selling out, even working for iHeart because they didn't need them. Anime Death Parade. All right.
Is that the one where he was talking about I can't believe another man will call another man boss or something?
Yes. Like that conversation, Dame isn't the right person to deliver it in some ways, but there's definitely truth in some of what he said in that conversation. There's truth on both sides of it. You know what I mean? Because Dame isn't wrong when he says, you know, can you give your son a job right now on this show? And you know, they were like, yes. And then Dame was like, no, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else owns the company. They would have to make that decision. And you believe you be able to whatever. There's a lot, again, these conversations take nuance, and the Comics Broke Me conversation definitely has nuance there that needs to be discussed, especially among those of us who are creators. Because you better believe me and Danny have spoken more than once about, hey, let's jump, bro, and see if we can't make this thing float. But my brother Danny is a trigger puller, bro. Like he'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like he you know what I'm saying? We ain't looked at all the angles yet. But I believe we can do it, and I'm gonna jump out there and do it. I'm far more like, let me look at some more angles real quick before we, you know what I'm saying? And that works for both of us because he's the trigger puller, and I'm like, hey, let me hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's
Nah, Dame, I don't think Dame was right though.
I think he was partially right.
I don't need, but here's the deal though. It's back to the entrepreneur conversation, right? I don't feel like, all right, man. I don't feel like everybody is built to be an entrepreneur.
I agree with that 100%.
Which is why he was showing disrespect to people who aren't built for it, who don't want to do it.
I agree with that 100%.
I like the whole point when he's like, how are you a man saying another man is your boss?
Agreed.
And I felt like that was really disrespectful to, I mean, if you're a doctor, you know what I'm saying? You work in a hospital, you have a boss. You have an honorable profession and a profession that makes you a lot of money. You know, I feel like the again, I said this to somebody before, is like what he was saying, there's some good stuff, but it's covered by so much bull that you got to dig through the bull to get to it. And sometimes, you know, stuff like that, you know, I just feel like, yes, you and I are both entrepreneurs. We are both being, you know, exactly. Entrepreneurs got to have employees at some point. So how can I believe that what he's saying is on par? Because that means I'm showing disrespect for the people who going to work with me. You know, like I'm not showing respect for them because, again, not everybody wants to work long hours. Now that you and I just did a con together, we just stood, and then listen. This man be selling, and both of us was standing like the whole time. Not everybody is willing to do that, especially in comic books. Comics is a hard profession. It's a really difficult profession to it's not difficult to get into, but it's difficult to reach the levels necessary to make enough money to sustain you just doing comic books. And you and I both know quite a few people who got side jobs, full-time jobs, side hustles, stuff like that. And it's not for everybody, man. It's not. Like, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody, and doing comics is not for everybody. Like, if I didn't have to do it, if I didn't want it, if I didn't feel it necessary to do this, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be doing something else.
Storytelling is not for everybody. Singing is not for all. Art is not for everybody. If you have a love for it, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said there's a lot of levels to this conversation. That's why I want to have it, because there's a lot of nuance in that conversation. There's a lot of nuance to the conversation we were having earlier about the fatigue.
Comics broke me.
About the fatigue. The comics broke me conversation, I think, is more relevant to, especially to our community. Because I think there are angles that we touched on in the previous conversation that we should expand some more on.
No, I think as a profession, sorry, Kenny, I think as a profession, if you make it to that, like, who was I talking to? I was reading an article. No, I wasn't reading an article. I'm sorry. I was reading a Twitter feed, and they were talking about how, like, you can make really good money if you get a large enough audience, large enough backing, large enough support, or B, make your name big enough that the big two are willing to, you can leverage that to make money. Jim Lee is not, Jim Lee is not starving. Jeff Johns is not starving. They're big name guys who are doing great, and they've worked hard to get to that point. And there are other guys in the indie circuit like Greg Burnham. Again, we joke a lot about Greg, but we ain't lying about how that dude just, he's reached a point where his audience is so potent and so large, they just be rolling up. They be looking for him. They was looking for him at Heroes Con.
Mm-hmm.
They was looking for him. Multiple people was looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but again, it takes a certain level of work and sacrifice, and it's a hard profession to jump and just do that. Like, I probably would do that if I didn't have familial responsibilities. If it was just me.
And that's part of the, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
That's part of the I was just trying to add on to that. Like, that's part of the calculus that you have to factor in. Is that you need to be in a position, and I again, that's why I want to have a conversation. And I know that there's other people in the family that in the indie comic family that might want to come on, so we'll discuss it this week and see who can make it. But that's another part of the calculus, is everybody's journey is also different. So, like, when you hear Steve Harvey tell his story about how he was down to his last dime, before he, one of his boys talked him into going up one night, and he did it, and everything popped, after that. But, like, for him to really have his opportunity, he didn't walk into that money. It took him walking away and taking a leap of faith and continuing in that leap of faith, regardless of when it was hard. Everybody that's in a successful position that we follow, that we are inspired by, has been through some similar type of circumstance where they tell you that it takes that consistency. It takes that, you not giving up. I was just listening to Kevin Hart talk about not giving up. But again, to me, this is where the nuance is, because there are a lot of different factors to, number one, whether you even belong in that lane. Everybody's not a storyteller. Everybody's not a great visual artist. Everybody's not a musician. Everybody's not whatever. You're always going to be able to find a niche of people that support what it is that you do. I've seen some comic books where the artwork, to me, I'm like, okay. I appreciate that, Kenny.
I'm laughing because I was just talking to somebody about that.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. Like, I've seen some artwork from some comics But when you look at their Kickstarter, they're like $50,000, $100,000. You be like, what? Never mind. Let me mind my business. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't appeal to me, but it appeals to them. You know what I'm saying? It appeals to a certain demographic, and they getting paid off of that. Me and somebody at the show this past weekend, we're talking about how, you know what I'm saying, if I was to talk to one of the artists that I work with and be like, yo, I want you to draw. Now I would never do this with my character or any of the characters that I create, but like if I drew an exclusive graphic novel and say, yo, I'm gonna come up with a story where Harlem, Stacy, you know what I'm saying, Nisa Vahi, all the women, the female characters that I got, you know what I'm saying, for the Lumberjacks that are in the Lumberjacks saga, they about to be busting it open, cause like, you know what I'm saying, like have them in lingerie, you know what I'm saying, afros out, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? If I say, yo, we about to do a full frontal, straight Dolomite type, whatever, I guarantee you that Kickstarter hit 30, 40,000. I guarantee it. One, because it's showing that type of stuff. Two, because you ain't seen it from Black characters. But if you go on Kickstarter right now, there are scores of Kickstarters with scantily clad drawn women that do numbers, bruh. Like a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? It's not my swag. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me and it's not my demographic, but it's somebody's. You know what I'm saying? So again, it goes back to that nuance of, all right, but how do you know where your lane is? How do you know you have a lane? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know that you're not? Because like you said, I agree with the entrepreneur thing 1,000,000%. Everybody's not built to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not meant to be an artist. Everybody's not meant to be a storyteller. Everybody's not. There are people out there that can sing their behinds off, but they can't handle being Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? There are people I'm talking about. There's a voice out there that's close to Whitney. I ain't gonna say on Whitney's level because that's disrespectful.
Hey man, there might be. Well, no, because that's like saying, you know, there's always the discussion with basketball. Like there's always there's probably a dude that's just as good as Jordan out there, but he ain't got the work ethic, he ain't got the drive, he ain't got the heart to excel and get to the next level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a ton of artists that are probably better than Jim Lee out there, but they ain't got the drive, the heart. It's funny, I'm gonna give a lot of credit to Roe. Like Roe was out there, he got one book, but Roe was selling his behind off with that one book. And he was killing it. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have the patience to go out there with their one book and sell that one book. Like for them, it's got to be, you know, like I run into so many of these dudes. I ran into one this weekend I got this idea. Y'all did a good a skit about it where a dude's like, I got this idea and I want to do a comic book. And you just be like, all right, well then do the comic. And he's like, yeah, but, and then it was like, no, it's not no yeah, but man, just do the comic. Make the comic book. And so many people they want to do something, but they don't want to put in the work and the drive and the effort and everything like that. Well, Daniel, what I'm talking about is just skill. Just skill. Like there are people who have the skill, but if you don't have the work ethic,
they have the raw skill, but they don't have the work ethic.
Right. You don't
like Kobe. Like Kobe, what made Kobe a killer is the fact that he had the physical talents, you know what I'm saying, similar to Jordan, but he also would outwork the bejesus out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like The Rock talks about that all the time. Like to those people that are on champion levels, that are sustained champion levels, always have a bear in their head. There's always something in their head that says, I'm this good, and I know, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a perfect example.
I'm this good, and I know how good I am. But somebody out there, Kobe talked about that all the time, that somebody out there, I started at 5, but there's somebody out there at 3. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's getting shots up right now, and I need to make sure that I'm out there too. I don't care what I did last year. What I did last year don't matter. What I did last night don't matter. That's when people talk about Mamba mentality, that's what that is. Mamba mentality is because a lot of us, most of us, honestly, can reach a level of success and stop because what else is there for me to do? You know what I'm saying? I've already proven to y'all I'm that man. I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell me different. And we definitely can't. But but the people that are like the GOATs still have something else that's driving them. Jordan, after you get 3 in a row, you know what I'm saying? You got to find another. You got to find another boogeyman to chase. You know what I'm saying? That's Jordan always had a boogeyman. He always had something else to chase. Kobe just was an incessant beast. Like he just was not going to stop ever. And that's why you hate playing. You don't want to play a dog like that. That's the definition of a dog. Dogs, it does not matter. You know, I don't care if I've won 10 championships. I'm gonna win 11 just because you talking to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a dog. Like you don't want you but 90% of people on earth are not dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like not. That's an elite group of humans walking the earth. You know what I mean?
And definitely, and I think, and again, I think Comic-Cons to me are a great example of who got that dog, who got that stamina in them, because it's really difficult to sell in Comic-Con. Like, especially because there's so many people out there. You are literally fighting for dollars from hundreds of people.
Famous
Not
people
only
included.
Famous people. They got Brian Stilfreeze out there. They got Mike McCone. They got Ron Garney. They got all these great artists. Sanford Green is over there, just pulling people. And if you're an indie person, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to be like, okay, even though these famous people there, I'm gonna get something.
You know how crazy it is to have Chuck come by your table and talk to you and like chop it up with you, and then know that he's getting ready to walk back to his table and just sell like a bunch of comics and not have to talk. Again, Chuck don't have to talk to you. Like Sanford don't have to talk to you, bro. I'm me. You know what I'm saying? Brian Stilfreeze definitely does not have to speak. His joint at the auction did what? How much?
$9,000, $9,100.
$9,100 for something that he did while he was there. Is it worth it? Absolutely, it is. And you have to have it in your head that
you gonna sell.
You still retain your space. I'm still worthy. I'm still worthy. This is still a good story. I believe in it, and I hope that you will too once you read it. And you just have to have that mentality. And going back to the comics broke me thing again. To me, that's part of the nuance. The nuance of it is finding the balance. And I hate that anybody, because that's a facet of life. Period. I'll say that, and I'll close if you're good. That's a part of the facet of life. Period. That is just as humans being able to find.
Sometimes,
yeah, they do.
When they get a chance to get around the table,
yeah, it depends on who it is. Some of them are more prone to stay, by their table. Most of the time, they have panels and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That they go
in the green rooms and stuff to get a break.
Yeah,
that's how long they lines be.
Yeah,
like I tried to go say hi to Brian Stilfreeze a couple times, and his line was like,
I can't even imagine,
bruh. Like I can think of other cons. Donnie Cates. Donnie Cates had a line that was like covering people's joints.
Appreciate it, Daniel.
But I will say though, they have been respectful enough that when I see them after the fact, they take time to talk to me. They don't have to do that. None of these dudes have to do that, but everybody is befriend. Jamal Igle, that dude is a beast, man. He's such a good artist. He make me mad, man. I gotta pick up my pencil every time I see him do something. It's just it's you just gotta have an endurance to know that you're doing the right thing. Even when it's slow.
It can lead you to a bunch of different paths, but I also very much so believe in the fact that the thought process of dang, that crap just I very much so believe in the thought process of being able to look at life. I had to practice this because of my son's health situations. being able to compartmentalize and triage what I can control and what I can't. The things that I cannot control, the only thing I can control is my reaction to it. You cannot control the situations in your life that are going to happen. You can only control how you react to them. And even if you don't all the way control it that well the first time that you encounter it, doesn't mean that you can't get better at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can work on that in between. You can't work on what's going to come down the pike at you in life, but you can definitely work on your preparation for what comes at you down the pike. You know what I'm saying? And I feel the same way about our dreams, and our goals, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. And I know some days you kill it and some days you don't. You know what I'm saying? The key is being able to find the balance in between the two to continue going. You know what I'm saying? And for those artists that are out there that are struggling for whatever reason, I hope, you know, if you fall across this, I hope that you have someone in your life to help you find that reposition space, that balanced space that you need to be in, and finding a tribe, because that's another thing that successful people say all the time was a key to their success, is being able to find the people around them, the team around them, the people around them, the family around them, the friends around them, to support them even when things weren't going like they wanted them to go or whatever.
You want to answer this last question and close?
Yeah.
What is your ultimate goals?
Animation or live action adaptation? Yeah, you can go.
The answer is yes. Whichever comes. Honestly, my ultimate goal as a comic creator is to have a book that I don't have to sell so hard. Like, I want to have a book where people come up, I've seen this before, and then they just get it, or they heard about it, or they know about it. You know, again, like I always bring up Greg Burnham, and I could bring up Greg Elise, a couple other people, indie people who they don't got to hustle that hard as I have to. You know, they have built a following, they have built a name, they have cultivated a brand, and you know, the brand does most of their work. I never see Greg work hard to make a sale. Either Greg, you know, people just come up and they're like, wow, this looks cool. Not that doesn't happen in my book, and I definitely seen it happen with Danny and Morgan book, and even Rose. Like, it happens, but you know, it's kind of like almost territorial at this point. Whereas I feel like I've seen Greg in like 2 or 3 places now, and he ain't got to work too hard. You know, I've seen him in Atlanta not work so hard. I've seen him in Baltimore. I seen like Danny and Morgan at the show. They had tons of people coming over. I already got that Lumberjacks. I already got that such and such, because they've locked down. You know, they've been, you know, known around North Carolina. For me, it's very similar in Connecticut. Like, a lot of people come up to me and they've seen me at different events around, but I'm looking for more of a, you know, cons are coming to me and be like, yo, we want you to come. We're going to fly you out. Like, take care of that, you know, doing multiple panels, just, you know, being successful in the realm of comics. Everything else that comes with it is kind of secondary at this point, because you got to kind of do A before B. If I had to choose between animation or live action, probably live action, only because live action might have a lot longer legs. Animation doesn't last long lately nowadays. Like, you don't generally get like a 5-year run with animation anymore. You usually get like 2 years. But yeah, easy sales, easier than I'm doing now. I would like to sit down in my chair.
All right. I mean, so what is your ultimate goal as a comic creator, animation or live action adaptation? To me, it depends on the property. It depends on which story it is. I think Solitary definitely needs. I think Solitary would be interesting as anime, but I would like to see it as live action because I'm a horror movie fan. Lumberjacks, live action. Harlem, I could see Harlem animated or live action. I think I said before, I mean, my ultimate, my dream would be to be able to have to tell enough of the story of Lumberjacks. I appreciate that, man. My dream would be to tell enough of the story of Lumberjacks Harlem, Solitary, other stories that I'm working on that I haven't announced yet, to have them be, for me, being able to have it on Netflix or one of the streaming networks. I mean, of course, on the big screen because I'm such a huge movie lover. But at the same time, I would be very happy to have one of my series make Netflix so that people can binge it and I can get instant reaction to the storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people love it, you know what I'm saying? I would love to have a moment for the culture like Luke Cage did. You know what I'm saying? When that first season of Luke Cage dropped and black people everywhere were talking about it, and the little subtle things that are part of black culture that were clearly put in there for black people to pick up and everybody else that's not from the culture not to get. The Blackening is another good example.
I think Lumberjacks would be a great TV show.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I would definitely love to have Jats as something that people could consume all at one time. Be like, bruh, I got to get, like what Black Mirror just did. You know what I'm saying? Black Mirror's been gone for years.
Talk about Black Mirror.
You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna talk about it. But you know what I'm saying? Black Mirror's been gone for years.
That episode. Ooh.
And all of us were fiending for those of us who are fans of Black Mirror were waiting. You know what I'm saying? Invincible, same thing. Invincible's been fire as a series on Prime, and God knows we've all been waiting for it. You know what I'm saying? When the boys got ready to come back on, same difference. You know what I'm saying? So my ultimate dream would be that, to be able to have something come out live action and it grabs you in such a way that you're like, bruh, I need a next season right now. Same thing Across the Spider-Verse. I forgot when I went to go watch Across the Spider-Verse that it's gonna be a 2-part. So when it ended, I was like, no, bruh. I was mad until I remembered that there are 2. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh my God. And that's what you want. You want your story to be able to lead people in a space where it's like, bruh, I have to find out what's getting ready to happen next. For me as a storyteller, that is the biggest compliment that I can have, or to have you feel my characters or feel the story or feel the theme in a way that helps you to either change your perspective or look at it from a different angle, or to empathize with something that you might not have otherwise empathized with. Like, that's my goal for writing. So, or to help you feel seen in some type of way, whether it's not just for the Black community, but it could be from a spiritual perspective. It could be as a man, it could be as a father, it could be as a brother. You know what I mean? Like, whatever character you're writing for, I want to be able to make somebody feel seen, to make them feel accepted, to be able to change your perspective, to make you think in some type of way. So those are my goals, and I feel like live action will probably be the best way to get that done. So that's my goal. And I guess with that, we'll dip set until next Tuesday. Put up the poll sometime. Like I said, the poll is up for tonight's episode. Y'all make sure y'all go vote. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much for continuing to support the show. And
we gonna get a live show at some point.
I know, right? Yeah,
we missed it, y'all.
What's good, Ty? Yeah, hey, it's all good, bro.
That's all right, man.
It's going straight to YouTube as soon as we sign out. It's going straight to YouTube.
We missed it, y'all. It was a lot going on, yeah.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It'll be up there, and then, like I said, you'll see us next Tuesday at 8.
I blame Danny.
It was a part of it.
We could, you know what? We could have did it that first night if Danny didn't go home.
Yeah, he was wilding. Yeah, we definitely could have did it the first night.
We could have did it that first night if Danny didn't go home.
I ain't gonna jump on him so much. Yeah, we
could have. He had to get his stuff, but
we still got to figure it out for July for GalaxyCon, because we literally are supposed to do it live there, so we'll have to stream you in.
Yeah, y'all gotta let me know what day it is so I could be available. If y'all can do, I think GalaxyCon is a 4-day, right?
Yes, 4-day, Thursday through Sunday.
If y'all can get it on the Thursday, if y'all can get it on that Thursday, I can jump in Friday.
We just got to see what day they want. You know what I'm saying?
Let me know.
Yeah, we just got to see what day they want us to. But
I might have to do it from my car because I'll be at a Comic-Con then.
All right. Well,
on that weekend.
We'll discuss it closer to time. But yeah, hey man, like I said, we love y'all, appreciate you. Hey, keep keep telling people about us, man. That's another goal for this year, daggone it. We're up to 1,000 subscriptions now. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to get the watch hours up. You know, we try to make the steps that are needed to get towards us being able to get paid for the show. And we made a big milestone already. We're up to 1,000 subscriptions. Now we got to get 40,000 hours watched. And I forgot what the other stipulation is, but we're on our way to it. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Ty, I'm glad you made it in, bro. Like I said, like it's going straight to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can watch the episodes there. The episode there. And like I said, we always up, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we love y'all, appreciate you. See you next Tuesday. Make sure you go vote on the poll. Like I said, Facebook. If you ain't already joined the group, Facebook Top 5 Live, go join that joint. Like when we reached 1,000 subscriptions, they sent us like what the updated stuff is. So I'll look back into it because I think they sent it to us like a month ago, like a few weeks ago. So I'll look back at it and make sure I'm not tripping. But yeah, I know they sent us what the list is, so we just got to look at it again to make sure like we're hitting it. But I know the watched hours is the next one that I started looking at, trying to make sure that we start working towards that number. All right, bro. Like I said, just it's on YouTube, so you can go back and watch. And then, like I said, we'll be on next Tuesday. Until then, make sure y'all go vote on the page. Like I said, Top 5 Live is the group. It's Top 5 Live Nation is the group on Facebook. Y'all go vote on the poll. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.